Welcome to the reservation, the home of the Gaffney Indians, the #1 ranked high school football team in the state of South Carolina. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Mahalik along with Lane Harrison. We are set for 4A Division I playoff action, the Socastee Braves against the Gaffney Indians. Now if Socastee is going to pull off the big upset, they'll have to do it with their talented running back, Mr. Randy Sinclair.
Socastee's first winning season in 16 years, and what do they get? A gift to the state playoffs against the top-ranked one of the top-ranked teams in the country. Randy Sinclair is the key to tonight's game. If Randy Sinclair can be successful and Socastee can win some battles up front and Sinclair's successful, they'll stay in the game and it'll be close.
And of course, there's always the right arm of D'Angelo guys that can get you the quick six. Gaffney not only #1 in the state, but getting national recognition as well.
Very strong defense. We'll see one of the best linebacking cores in the Southeast with Coleman and Byers. A very talented offensive squad. The triple option, all three options are very effective, very fast with breakaway speed.
That's right, Gaffney is ranked 17th in the country by USA Today. Can Socastee spring the upset? We'll find out with the opening kickoff right after this.
Food Chief, night or day, gets you going on your way. We offer clean and well-lit gasoline facilities, and you pay the same price, cash or credit. Fight the flu season with Food Chief. During November, Food Chief offers NyQuil Day and Nighttime Formula Cold Medicine, only $4.99. And Tavist-D and Tavist-I decongestants for only $3.99. Get drugstore prices without standing in line. Open 24 hours a day. We'll help you find whatever you need when you need it. Because with 28 locations across the PD, we're your neighbors. Food Chief, we're there for you.
Tired of dragging around that old garden hose? You say you've always wanted an automatic lawn sprinkler system but thought it would be too expensive, too messy, or too much trouble? Well, thanks to Britt Irrigation and a very unique method of installation, you no longer have to lose your already perfect lawn to have an easy-to-operate automatic irrigation system installed. Whether your yard is small, medium, or large, we'll give you the results you want because irrigation is our only business. Spend your time doing the things you really enjoy. You can find us in the Yellow Pages.
The Socastee Braves, are they the real Indians here? We'll find out tonight. One thing for sure, it is going to be a big challenge for that team in the white jerseys right there, Socastee tonight, going up against a Gaffney team that we talked about at the top of the show being one of the best in the state of South Carolina, one of the best in the South. But for Socastee, they're used to playing primetime opponents. They play a tough schedule in Region 5 4A lane.
A Gaffney sports writer asked James Brown if he was intimidated about coming up here, and James said, no, we play one of the toughest regions in the state. Hartsville, Dillon, South Florence have all been in the top 10 when Socastee played them. They've battled against top 10 opponents, so they're used to playing very strong teams in their region. And they feel like they have a chance tonight. That's what the state playoffs are all about. When you get to it, anything can happen. And Coach James Brown Braves believe in themselves, and they have a very positive attitude tonight. Hopefully that'll carry over.
Well, we'll get a chance to see that explosive Gaffney offense right off the top. Gaffney won the toss and elected to receive. Socastee kicks off. Number 54, B.J. Felkel, will kick it off for Socastee. Do the Braves need to play a nearly perfect ball game tonight?
That's the best you can say is they have to really execute on offense and hope the Indians turn the ball over so they can take advantage of some mistakes.
The defending 4A Big 16 champs get off to a terrific start. Sean Stewart takes the opening kickoff 41 yards out to the 41-yard line. That's where Socastee will take over, or excuse me, that's where Gaffney will take over. Gaffney with a very impressive starting lineup on offense led by Tyrone McGill. The quarterback's passed for over 1,000 yards, and he's rushed for over 700 yards. Of course, an offense always relies on a big offensive line. Gaffney has that. And when Gaffney goes to the air, they've got some quick and talented people led by Alvin Littlejohn and Ike Curry who can get the job done. Gaffney on the option on the very first play, and he could be gone. See ya. Tyrone McGill on the first play of the football game is into the end zone. That's why they're ranked 17th in the country in USA Today.
You saw the triple option work to perfection. A mistake in the Socastee secondary, miscommunication or missed assignment, allowed McGill to get outside, and the excitement has already started. You'll see on just a straight triple option down the line, takes him on the fullback position. I think it's Randy Sinclair, number 42, who gets burned on the outside, but there was a misplay by the cornerback who came in for the pitch man, so the quarterback responsibility was missed.
Well, just like that, Gaffney goes up 6-0. We've still got 11:22 to play in the first quarter. The extra point is good. Well, they are as advertised, no doubt about it. We talked about Socastee needing to play a near-perfect game. Well, first time Gaffney touches the football, they score. Now it is gut check time right off the bat for Socastee not to get thrown out of their ball game. Hey, it's just 7-0 right now. This ball game not over by any stretch of the imagination. Long way to go.
We're dealing with young men here, 16 to 18 years old. The emotion right now and the momentum are obviously in Gaffney's corner. Socastee will be very hard to see how they can rebound from that defensive failure. And hopefully on the offense, they'll have some success moving the ball. As we said early in the game, Randy Sinclair's ability to be successful tonight and the offensive line's ability to open up holes for him will be able to keep Socastee in this ball game.
TJ White does the kicking for the Gaffney Indians. Randy Sinclair, 42, the man to watch, back deep. Sinclair has to watch it go to the other receiver down at the 10-yard line. And Socastee gets it out near the 24-yard line. Shannon Powell with the return. So here comes the Socastee offense. They need to be patient, not try and go for the big play right away. They are led by D'Angelo Goss and Randy Sinclair. The quarterback Goss has passed for 1,189 yards and 10 touchdowns, so the big play is definitely a part of the Socastee offense through the air, and we all know what Sinclair can do on the ground. 22 touchdowns for the junior, number 42. We'll be focusing on him throughout the ballgame.
He's the kind of back that will pick at you, and if as a defense you fall asleep, you'll be looking at the back of his jersey as he runs away from you.
The power eye from Socastee. Sinclair right off the top, fumbles the football. But Socastee recovers. Could you ask for a more disappointing start than we've got right here? One offensive play for Gaffney, it's a touchdown. One offensive play for Socastee, and they fumble the football.
All-American linebacker Jeff Coleman came that time on a blitz, and as soon as he got to Sinclair, you'll see him coming there right to 92, right through the middle of the line. He gets to Sinclair's ball hand and strips the ball out. That's what the college scouts are looking for right there in that gentleman.
You've got to protect the football. That's going to set up a 2nd down and 10.
It's a straight 52 defense by the Indians. Two excellent linebackers in Byers and Coleman.
Brooks is split out. Goss rolls to the right, looking for Tusi. Lobs it out towards him, and it falls incomplete. Not quite sure whether that pass was intended for Tusi or for Patrick McElfresh. Either way, it falls incomplete.
Both receivers looked like they were on similar routes. Gauls got a little bit of pressure that time, and it caused him to throw off his back foot, and the ball fell harmlessly incomplete between the two of them. But they were open, and that's something I've seen on tape in the last couple of weeks in preparing for this Gaffney squad. They seem to be a little susceptible to the pass.
They have given up some big plays. They're coming off a game where they beat Spartanburg 30-20. Now Spartanburg does have a potent offense, but still 20 points were put up on the board. This Socastee offense averages right around 20 points per game. Two receivers go split to the top of the screen. Goss gives it to the fullback up the gut, looking for a hole, but Dees gets it up near the 31, and that is it. So they try and spread out the defense, run Dees up the middle, but it doesn't work.
That's something you need to be looking for as you watch this game on TV, as Coach James Brown's Braves are going to try to spread the field and cause the defensive ends from Gaffney to drop off and try to create some favorable mismatches on offense so that they can bust Sinclair and Dees open. Coach Brown said the quick trap up the middle, the play we just saw, should be successful for them tonight. Punt was almost blocked.
Gets it away, and it takes a Socastee bounce and goes out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and that's exactly where Gaffney began their first possession, and that led to a big touchdown run. We'll see if Socastee can do a little better right here.
Defensive coordinator Jerry Kirk has had a chance to get over there and talk with his defensive players, and its assignments and its responsibilities. If you don't have a man assigned to the fullback, the quarterback, and the tailback on the triple option, and you don't make good tackles and don't get to them quick, you're going to see the type of play we saw earlier with McGill.
So the Socastee defense needs to make a stop as Gaffney comes out in that power I formation, or excuse me, the I formation with two receivers split to the top. Give it to the fullback off the option. That is Charles Palmer. Palmer picks up about 2.
McGill's a very talented quarterback, senior quarterback, and he really does a good job of coming up to the line of scrimmage and reading defenses and checking off. You'll see him go with that triple option, and they run it from the I set, from the pro set, so they run it from a lot of different formations, but they're very effective with it.
And that Socastee defense really can't key on any one man over there for Gaffney because the tailback, Benny Foster, has rushed for 999 yards. You saw Palmer already. He's gone for over 800 yards. And Tyrone McGill, the quarterback, he's a double threat with the arm and with the leg. So Socastee really can't key on anyone. There's McGill again on the option. And McGill picks up the first down before he's brought down by Randy Sinclair.
Boy, he did a real good job that time, riding Palmer into the line. He put the ball all the way inside the basket here. You'll see a good angle right there. And then right at the last minute, as the two Socastee players converge on him, he pulls it out and makes good yardage around the right end.
Yeah, William Dees went for the fullback in that situation. Should have went for the quarterback, and that left a big hole for McGill to pick up a nice chunk of yardage and the first down. 8:43 to go in the first quarter. Number 1 ranked Gaffney already leading Socastee 7-0. Glad you could be with us on the TV-15 Game of the Week playoff style. McGill gives it to the deep back, the I back, and that's Benny Foster, and Foster stopped after a 1-yard gain.
Nice play that time by Billy Jones and Jeff Wildermuth coming up from his linebacker position. Made a good stop that time. That's the first time Foster's touched the ball, and there you see head coach Montgomery for Gaffney.
And they have got a super tradition here, and obviously a great fan turnout. A town that kind of reminds me a little bit of Hartsville. They come out and they really support their football team. It's the only game in town, and they come out and they support it. And you're looking at about 3, 4, 5,000 people in the stadium on the Gaffney side tonight. Socastee D comes up tough again. They'll try it off the right side. Nothing doing for Charles Palmer. Picks up about 2, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 7. First 3rd down situation of the night. This is where Socastee needs to come up and make the stop.
But here's the thing about Gaffney. They run the triple option so well that they can get first down yardage from anywhere on the field. But with McGill's ability to throw the ball, you have to respect the pass.
And McGill can indeed put it into the air. If he does go to the air, watch for number 21, Cornelius Bonner, who has 44 receptions.
Both of them, and Alvin Littlejohn, are split wide at the top of the screen.
Keep an eye on 21. Single coverage on him, but they'll roll to the short side on the right and complete it for a first down. Boy, McGill showing us already that he is the complete package. And that was coming out of the backfield to make the catch.
Boy, the Indian offense really looks calm. You see McGill go back out. Foster just slips out of the backfield from his tailback position, and the Socastee defense was rotated to the left-hand side, so that was why Foster was open. Nice catch.
And Sinclair got there just a little too late, so now the ball is inside the 30 as Gaffney continues to roll on. Very impressive first quarter for the Indians. Again, 2 split to the top of the screen. They'll run to the short side on the option. McGill, nowhere to go, is brought down from behind. Good defensive play by Pat McElfresh, who's played a pretty solid ball game in the first 5 minutes of the football game.
He came from behind the play from his defensive end position. You see McGill come down the line, ride the fullback in. Dees goes for the fullback, and 63, Mazik makes him cut back in, and McElfresh is there to clean up.
That's terrific hustle from McElfresh. He's got 81 tackles on the regular season playing a defensive end position. Those are linebacker numbers coming from a defensive end, so you can see how aggressive he is. 2nd down and 8.
Here you see McGill checking off again at the line of scrimmage.
Calling for the tailback, Foster, and Foster still on his feet. Keeps going down to the 11-yard line. Unbelievable, Benny Foster.
63, Maurice Mazik came from his inside linebacker position, and I was looking down to see where the next play was coming from because I thought he was down. Big hat on him, hard leg drive, maintains his balance with his hand. Beautiful play that time by the 5'10", 175-pound senior.
I thought he was down too. I glanced down and heard the crowd roaring. Couldn't figure out what they were roaring about until I saw the guy keep going. That's a lot of leg pressing and squatting in the offseason, giving you that kind of leg strength. The complete package. Benny Foster and the Gaffney Indians, impressive. First 2 drives of the football game. They're looking to score again. McGill has 1 touchdown, gets close to a second. It's brought down at the 1-yard line. Right now, there's absolutely nothing the Socastee defense can do to stop this team.
They're not getting any penetration to the backfield. The only penetration they're getting is from the defensive end position. And against the option, you're not blocking the end. So you're going to get that type of penetration. It just looks like they're outnumbered on offense, and the offensive line, the Killer Bees, Burgess, Ballou, Beatty, Byers of the Gaffney Indians are really doing the job up front.
And if you watch on the plays 12 for Socastee, William Dees keeps going after the fullback and stopping the fullback. McGill is seeing that, and he's using that as the option to keeping the football. 2nd down and goal. On the ground to the fullback for the touchdown. Charles Palmer gets it in, and Gaffney leads it 13-zip.
Very impressive drive by the Gaffney Indians. Straight off fullback dive play. Very strong runner, 5'10", 220 pounds, and really gets this momentum going.
A 58-yard drive for Gaffney. Took them a little over 4 minutes to get into the end zone. They lead at 13-zip. And the Socastee defense, they've got to do something, make some kind of change over there, because right now Gaffney is just completely controlling the line of scrimmage, and McGill's making all the right decisions as the option quarterback. Point after touchdown is no good, so Gaffney is not perfect. They can do something wrong. They missed the extra point. It's 13-0. Gaffney leads. We'll be right back.
South Florence Building Supply. Everything you need to build.
Bo and Bubba's Gun Show and Sale is coming to the Darlington National Guard Armory November 20th and 21st. All types of shotguns, rifles, handguns, ammunition, knives, reloading equipment, and gun safes. Also black powder rifles and pistols, archery equipment, and custom knife makers. Free firearm safety instruction will be available upon request. It's all at Bo and Bubba's Gun Show and Sale at the Darlington National Guard Armory. Saturday, November 20th from 8 till 5 and Sunday, November 21st from 9 till 5. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to the reservation. So far, it has been devastation for the Socastee Braves. Gaffney has scored on their first two possessions to lead at 13-zip. But Randy Sinclair can change that in a hurry. 42 for Socastee with the return of the kick. Hemmed up at the 20 and goes down.
The Gaffney special teams are really, really strong. Number 24, you'll see a lot of action. Him, Sean Stewart, is a starting cornerback, also a backup tailback, but he really gets down and makes a lot of big hits, as does Marcus Bradley, number 15. Very active special teams for Gaffney.
We talked about
you
at the
have
top.
to have that to be the number one team.
Yeah, we talked about at the top of the show, and even though they're down 13-0 now, still Socastee has to establish Sinclair on the ground. They'll try and spread out the defense and keep it on the ground with D's up the middle, but D's will go nowhere. So you can see Socastee spreading out the field and then running up the middle, trying to find some kind of seam in the Gaffney D.
Coach James Brown knows that a lot of times when Gaffney gets twin sets out to the side, they'll drop off their defensive end. So what he's trying to do tonight is by setting up with twin sets, stretch that defensive out a little bit so that your fullback, you get a fullback tackle block, and if you can make a good block, and Sinclair, who's a very shifty, very elusive runner, can make one move, he can get big yardage.
You know, the Hartsville Red Foxes are ranked second in the state 4A behind Gaffney, and when Socastee played Hartsville, it wasn't pretty. The Red Foxes blew them out 51-0. Socastee taking an awful lot of time. Gaffney showing the blitz. The blitz is on. They pitch it to Sinclair. Sinclair can't turn the corner. Picks up about 3 or 4. And that's a play right there where Socastee and Sinclair can come up with a big play. They shot linebackers up the middle. If they can just get Sinclair around the corner, he'll have a lot of room.
That's the thing about this Gaffney defense is these guys really pursue the ball and stay in their lanes and know their responsibilities. And you got the two linebackers in the middle, Coleman and Byers. The defensive line, basically, their job is just to keep the offensive linemen away from Byers and Coleman. And these guys are major college prospects, and they'll do a lot of cleaning up tonight.
Socastee needs a first down. Gause goes to the air, looking for Brooks, complete at the 45. Brooks still on his feet, past midfield, down to the 42-yard line. 16th catch of the year for Reggie Brooks. It couldn't have come at a better time for the Braves.
You'll see the Braves tonight try to attack the seams in the zone defense. This time a nice fullback. Byers comes on the blitz, and Delangelo Gauss never saw the completion. He was on his back. Beautiful pass to Reggie Brooks. Very good athlete. You'll see a lot of him tonight, hopefully.
What a terrific throw. Goss threw that basically off his back foot because of the pressure being applied to him. Still was able to put enough zip on it to get over the linebackers. And as we talked about, if there is a weakness for Gaffney, it is pass defense. We'll see if Socastee can exploit that and get back into the football game. Nice play from Brooks, 44, who was split to the bottom of the screen. Man-for-man coverage again on Brooks. From the power eye, Goss wants to go to the air. Tootsie, the tight end, complete for the first down. 26th catch of the year for Matthew Tootsie. And I tell you what, we have covered a lot of football games this year. I've been to a lot of Thursday night games in Florence. I haven't seen a better tight end than Tootsie.
Very heady player, very good hands. You'll see him, nice little play action to the side. Holds the linebackers just a second so that Tucci can clear the inside linebacker. Good coverage that time by the freshman, Dominique Stevenson, but still. Now here's where Socastee, they've got 2 first downs in a row, a little momentum coming back to their side. These guys need to build some confidence, and heck, if it's working, keep throwing the ball. Make them stop the pass.
A lot of people in Hartsville are angry now because I forgot about Kelvin Moses. Moses, a big play guy. I'll go with him for big plays and Tootsie for possession. How about that? Make it even. Power eye again, play action. Brooks, one-on-one. The pass is going to be overthrown. It was up for grabs, the jump ball situation. Looked like Brooks pushed off a little bit. Could have been offensive pass interference, but it falls harmlessly incomplete.
Reggie held up just a little bit too much. If he would have broken away from the receiver and maintained his route, that ball could have been caught. A beautiful throw that time by D'Angelo Gauss.
Yeah, 24, Sean Stewart had the defensive coverage for Gaffney. We saw him with the opening kickoff. We saw the speed he had. So it's going to be very tough for Brooks to go one-on-one and burn him with speed alone.
Reggie Brooks has got about 6 inches, though, so that's a very good matchup for Socastee. Let's look for that later in the game.
So it's been interesting for Socastee. Out of the power eye, they have passed, but when they split out all the receivers, they've run the football. See if that holds true now with 2 receivers split down to the bottom of the screen. I formation, Sinclair dots the I, play action, Gauze. Quick hit to Brooks. Brooks gets it inside the 25, shy of the first down. That'll set up a 3rd down and 3.
Socastee showing a lot of confidence, and Galls is showing a lot of confidence in the passing offense. But this is what you'll see him. You won't see him drop back in the pocket. You're going to see a 2-step drop and get rid of the ball, because the thing about spreading the field out is you've got a mismatch in the offensive line. If they bring a linebacker, there's a big mismatch, and Coleman and Byers are coming through on the blitz. Socastee wants to talk about it.
So the Socastee Braves are moving the football. It's now an important 3rd down and 3. The Braves trail at 13-0. We'll be right back to the reservation in Gaffney right after this.
Food Chief, night or day, gets you going on your way. We offer clean and well-lit gasoline facilities, and you pay the same price, cash or credit. Fight the flu season with Food Chief. During November, Food Chief offers NyQuil Day and Nighttime Formula Cold Medicine, only $4.99. And Tavist-D and Tavist-I decongestants for only $3.99. Get drugstore prices without standing in line. Open 24 hours a day. We'll help you find whatever you need when you need it. Because with 28 locations across the PD, we're your neighbors. Food Chief, we're there for you.
The monsters are coming. Friday and Saturday, November 19th and 20th at Florence Civic Center. Shimano World presents the final showdown of 93. The legendary Bigfoot, Mongoose, Jersey Outlaw, Holman's Beast, and more. Plus Thrillist, Fire Monster, and Blast from the Past, the world's fastest jet-powered 57 Chevy torch everything in their path. And a special appearance by the ultimate transformer, the car-crushing, flamethrower Beast Truck. Tickets at the Civic Center box office and select a seat or charge by phone or till late at the gate. The crowd's already shaken.
The Socastee Braves trail at 13-0 here in Gaffney, South Carolina, but they are moving the football, and now an important 3rd down and 3. You would think maybe 2-down territory. I formation, 2 tight ends. Goss to Sinclair. Sinclair lunges, but does not have the first down from this angle, but it's going to be close.
The Gaffney Indians really loaded up in the middle there. Coleman and Byers both red dogged. Socastee was lucky to get the 2 yards they got. It's 4th and 1. Looks like they're going to go for it.
No, you've got to go for it. It's been a very impressive drive, and D'Angelo Goss has done the job through the air, but on 4th down and 1, you've got to think Sinclair.
They also need to hurry up. It took them a while to get that play in. Dees came in late. A delay of game penalty here would really hurt.
Brooks has had 2 catches on this drive. He split down to the bottom of the screen. Socastee hurrying up to beat the clock. They do. Sinclair first down to the 20-yard line.
Look for that play right there. If Socastee does get down to the goal line, that's their bread and butter. Sinclair's a very good jump, dive runner. And all the Socastee linemen have to do here is just prevent penetration, and Sinclair can get over the top as he did that time for the first down.
Wildermuth doing a good job of providing a little bit of a screen for Sinclair to leap over the top. So now it's a 1st down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Impressive drive from Socastee, down 13-0, but controlling the football, not letting their emotions get the best of them, staying calm and staying in control. Power I again. Brooks split to the bottom. Goss wants to throw, looking for Tootsie. Lobs it up towards the corner. Tootsie is knocked down. It's intercepted, but this one could come back. Now they're going to say his feet were out of bounds, but the flag flies. It's going to be pass interference against Gaffney because Tootsie got knocked down to the ground while the ball was in the air.
Looked like the freshman cornerback, Dominique Stevenson, was right on Tootsie's heels and has probably caught a little bit of his heel. I don't know if we'll be able to see it from this angle. It'll be coming to the left side of your screen. You see Galls roll out and just lob the ball up. Tucci was in good position to catch the ball, but you'll never see him here as he hits the ground. And 25, J.J. Surratt comes up with the interception from his free safety position.
It is pass interference against Gaffney. It's going to be a 1st down for Socastee. Ball down to the 10-yard line. The Gaffney partisan, especially the guy in the mustache, can't believe it. I told you they love their football here.
Very rich in tradition here in Gaffney.
Yep, state championship in 1992. They were a dominant team in the 60s as well.
Well, it's a well-known fact this year in South Carolina high school football, the road to the state championship 4A comes through this town.
Brooks goes split out, as does Sinclair in the slot back position now. Goss under center, wants to throw, looking for Brooks, lobs it for Tootsie instead at the 5, and Tootsie down to the 4-yard line. Kind of a dangerous little lob pass over the middle, but it nets 5 yards.
D'Angelo Galls comes up from the center, and you'll see him lose control of the ball, and he almost pushes it to Tootsie. No spiral, very ugly pass, but we'll take the yards.
It ain't ugly if it gets you positive yardage, and it picks up 6 yards inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line.
2nd down and 5.
Wildermuth, 34, comes in. It's part of the Gaffney crowd. Kind of in a pit here as you enter the stadium at the top and then walk down towards the field, and it can get very loud. And that is the end of the first quarter of football. First quarter dominated by Gaffney. They scored on the first 2 possessions, but don't look now. Here come the Braves. They're knocking on the door at the 4-yard line. 13-zip, Gaffney leads. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer King. Scotland County authorities get a break in the murder investigation of 3 Laurinburg people. Investigators are expected to return from New York City today with a murder suspect, 19-year-old Eric Darnell Rogers. Rogers is accused of killing 3 Scotland County people execution style last week. We'll have more news in 1 hour.
When is the last time you went for a ride in the countryside? If it's been a while, maybe it's because you don't enjoy driving your car. Well, Palmetto Nissan can change that. We call it the Ultimate Deal. You get a new lease on life with a new 1994 Altima for just $229 per month, and that's only for 2 years. $229 per month for this exciting new Altima. So enjoy driving again. Come in and get your Ultimate Deal at Palmetto Nissan in Florence at the end of the I-20 spur.
A must-score situation for Socastee, trailing 13-0. We begin the second quarter with the Braves with the ball inside the 5, second down and goal.
You got to figure right here Sinclair's going to get the ball. They go to the power I formation. Wildermuth comes in at the fullback position. Also McElfresh in there in the backfield.
Gauze, Sinclair, who leaps and lunges and gets down to the 1-yard line. That's the play that worked for the first down. Doesn't get the touchdown here, gets it down to the 1.
But you're seeing the Gaffney defensive front of Sean Tate, Tim Sullivan, Ellie Allison, and Alan Davidson really do a good job of getting down there and cutting off the drive blocks from the Socastee offensive line. All right, they got 2 downs here to make about 1.5 yards, 2 yards. This is where your offensive line has to win the ball game for you.
Lanier and Felkel have done the job off the right side. See if they go there with Sinclair on second and goal. They go to Sinclair, who gets hit in the backfield and does not get in. So now here we go. It's going to be a 4th down and goal from the 1.5-yard line. This crowd will make some noise when they come to the line of scrimmage.
Marcus Bradley, number 15, from his defensive end position that time, got to Sinclair before he could get off the ground for his jump. And that was very important to stopping that play. One of the things that Coach Brown and his staff has really emphasized this week in practice is to control the penetration from the defensive line. No plays for negative yards. Always move forward. And that has also rolled over into a positive attitude for the Socastee team. They feel they have a chance tonight. If they can run the ball and control the ball on the ground with Randy Sinclair, he can get good yardage, and they can be competitive and stay in this game.
Socastee took way too much time in getting to the line of scrimmage. Should have called a timeout. Now it has cost them. They'll have to move back 5 yards for a delay of game. Taking a long time to get the play call in, and now Socastee may change their minds and decide to kick the football. We'll have to see what Coach James Brown decides on.
It's still early in the game.
Looks like
Socastee's shown they can move the ball. This is game's by no means over. Gaffney's a very strong team that you can't turn your back on them, but every point counts now, and the Braves will try to get 3 from Felkel.
Boy, they really needed a touchdown in this situation, though. They'll try and kick it. Felkel does have a good leg. Tucci will hold at the 15. It'll be a 25-yard field goal attempt. Socastee trying to get on the board. A terrific drive. Is it capped off? Nope, it's good as it sneaks in the left crossbar from this angle. Looked like it has slipped wide, but it gets through, so Felkel gets the field goal, 25-yarder, makes it 13-3. Would have been good for Socastee to get the touchdown, but still, they proved 2 things. Number 1, they can move the football, and number 2, they're not going to roll over and play dead.
Yeah, from our angle up here on the north side of the stadium, that ball looked like it was hooking hard, but it must have just got inside the upright.
It's like one of those tee shots that hangs along the edge of the water and then finally draws back into the fairway like you like it.
Always slice.
10:41 to go in the second quarter. Boy, that's got to make Socastee feel a lot better offensively. But the problem has been on defense. They haven't stopped Gaffney yet. Defense needs to come up with a 3 and out here.
Socastee also has about 4 or 5 guys going both ways on each side of the ball, playing defense and offense. Sinclair being the main culprit there. Dees also goes both ways. Reggie Brooks goes both ways. He'll play on the defensive secondary. Felkel also. But after that opening drive of 1 play where McGill goes all the way for the touchdown, Socastee's been able to come back, use the pass to keep the Gaffney defense on their heels a little bit, not guessing and not bunching up on the line of scrimmage, because if these Indians can cram the line of scrimmage, they can shut down the running game.
Felkel with a short kickoff, but there's only one problem. Socastee was halfway down the field before he actually kicked the ball. So it's going to be offsides against Socastee, and they'll move it back 5 yards. You saw right there a concerted effort not to kick it to the dangerous deep men for Gaffney.
Very, like we said before, very talented special teams. You'll see 24, Sean Stewart back there in the backfield. 22 also is Benny Foster. These guys are electric when they get their hands on the ball, and they always make good penetration on the kickoff teams. They take a lot of pride in their special teams here at Gaffney.
Well, they've got good field position throughout the ball game. Started the first drive at the 41, second drive at the 42. And they should get good field position here as Falco is being forced to kick it off from the 35-yard line. And you can see there is no superstar treatment on this team. The main man, Randy Sinclair, playing special teams as usual, number 42, the deep safety.
Randy rarely comes off the field all night.
Foster on the move out to the 36-yard line, tripped up nicely.
Foster, the ball carrier.
Go ahead, you pronounce it.
Number 82. Adam
I'm from down south. There's no way I can pronounce it.
That's Adam Shashowski, I do believe. Adam, if we're mispronouncing that, excuse us. But Shashowski comes up with a defensive stop, getting low, submarining him, and bringing him down out near the 36-yard line. Why didn't you jump on that?
Attaboy, Adam.
The big A, we'll call him the rest of the game. Too many consonants, not enough vowels in that one. Gaffney from the I, the option. McGill pitches it back to Foster. He's got Sinclair to beat. Gets the first down, but that one had touchdown written all over it. Now a late flag comes in, maybe a little bit of a face mask grab there. But boy, every time Gaffney's touched the ball on offense, they've had a chance to break it. If Sinclair doesn't bring him down, Foster's gone.
Gaffney's option is working like a charm. Every time McGill comes down the line, he's making the right decision. Either give it to Palmer, run it himself. That was the first time we saw the pitch to Foster, and they get a first down and some.
The Braves need to force a turnover. They really do, because they're not stopping them on downs. They need to force a fumble. You know, the option is a high-risk offense. It can produce big plays for you, but it also can get a little dangerous at times as far as turnovers go for the offensive team. So what Socastee has to do is need to put a little more pressure on the ball and force a turnover or two.
Try to make McGill pitch quick. That means you need to get your defensive end going to the quarterback and hope your cornerbacks and safety and linebackers can come up and pick up the pitch man. But McGill's such a good athlete and makes good decisions and handles the ball so well. And there goes the big guy, Palmer.
42 runs into 42. Palmer runs into Sinclair. Once again, a touchdown-saving tackle for Sinclair, but it comes after a 12-yard pickup. Big hole up the gut. Over pursuit by Socastee.
You can't take any option away. If you try to take away the fullback, you've got the pitch and the quarterback keep. If you try to take away the pitch or the quarterback keep, Palmer will hurt you. He's a bruising runner, and he's got 13 touchdowns after the one tonight.
You can see by all the decals on the back of his helmet, this guy knows how to play the game. First down.
One back set this time by the Indians.
McGill wants to throw all the time in a row, lobs it towards the flag. Touchdown, Gaffney. And that is Cornelius Bonner, his 45th catch of the year. And Gaffney goes back up by 2 scores.
Bonner victimizes Stuart Myers, number 88, the 6'2", 170-pound junior cornerback for the Braves. Just a basic flag route from his wide-out position. Beautiful throw by McGill. 6 points for the Indians.
There's absolutely nothing to it for the Gaffney Indians. They've touched the ball 3 times. They've scored on all 3, and now Gaffney needs to call a timeout to make a decision on whether or not they are going to go for 2 or kick the extra point. They lead it right now 19-3. Now, as we've been talking about through the ball game, a very large contingent of Gaffney people are here. On the Socastee side, not that large. We're guessing about maybe 120 people made the 4.5-hour trek up from the beach.
Have to admire them. They're not liking what they see right now. Gaffney, unfortunately for Socastee, is making it look awful easy on offense.
Let's go check in with Steve Trent. He's been roaming the sidelines throughout the ball game. There's been so much scoring, we haven't had a chance to talk to you, Steve. What's up?
Yeah, you know, Bob, it's a shame the game is so far away. A lot of the fans couldn't make it up here to the game. Even Socastee's band couldn't come. But check out here the stands at the reservation. Got hundreds of people packing here on the warpath. As you can hear, sometimes the sound is so deafening I can barely hear myself. Now, I know there are some fans on the Braves side cheering the Braves on, but the Indians are making a lot more noise. We'll see if the Braves can hold them off tonight, Bob.
Definite home field advantage for Gaffney, who's going for 2. McGill under center, so dangerous in this situation. He could run or pass. He's going to throw the football towards the corner of the end zone, and is complete for the 2-point conversion. Alvin Littlejohn with the 2-point conversion, so they erase the missed extra point by getting the 2-point conversion here. So it's 21-3. Gaffney can do no wrong. In fact, the only way to stop the Gaffney offense, keep them off the field.
Well, the only way Socastee's been able to get them off the field is to give up a touchdown, and that's not the way you want to keep the Gaffney offense off the field. The defensive coordinator, Jerry Kirk, is going to have to come up with some type of ploy, some type of play over there to get these defensive players. And they also need a little luck. That option is just so hard to stop when you've got good athletes running it, and Gaffney has very good athletes. That's just where you've got, as a defense, you've got to just mix up your responsibilities. And, you know, hey, you take the pitch guy for a while, you take the quarterback, and hope something works for you.
Shannon Powell, second kickoff return of the ball game, gets it out to the 26-yard line. And here comes the Socastee offense. We saw D'Angelo Goss go to the air very successfully in that last drive. he needs to continue to do that, because right now it may be time to press the panic button a little bit, because you're down 21-3. You've got to get it 6 points on the board pretty quickly now to get back in the football game.
Randy Sinclair has not piled up big numbers in yards rushing and touchdowns by having a shabby offensive line. These guys can open holes. If D'Angelo can keep them thinking pass, the run will become that much more effective. Now Sinclair goes out to the slot, top of the screen.
But still, you think back, Socastee really needed a touchdown when they had the ball inside the 5-yard line. They give it to Dees, but Dees will go nowhere. Hit behind the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard loss. And you don't want to second guess throughout the entire ball game. But think about this. When they had the ball at the 1-yard line, they had the delay of game and went back to the 6. Had they called a timeout, kept the ball at the 1, even if they didn't get the touchdown, at least they have Gaffney pinned down in their own zone. Instead, they get the 3 points, but yet Gaffney comes back after the kickoff and gets pretty good field position and marches it right down the field.
We're not yet to know if that's going to be a big play in the ball game. Hopefully Socastee will be able to.
I think it is. I really think Socastee needed to get into the end zone to just establish something. That was kind of a moral victory for Gaffney, keeping him out of the end zone. Goss goes to the air. Brooks again. This one goes off his shoulder and falls incomplete. Pass just a little bit behind 44.
Ball was tipped that time by Ty Byers from his inside linebacker position. Had Byers not got a hand on that, Brooks was open. You're seeing the Socastee Braves run that slant play a lot. They ran the power backfield that time, and Gaffney crowded up the line of scrimmage. But Socastee still trying to throw the ball, trying to keep that defense loose, and keep them thinking that they've got to continue to do that across the night.
Gaffney's been rushing 6 or 7 men, and what you saw on that play was both running backs staying in the backfield to help out the block. That doesn't give Goss too many options to throw the ball to. Brooks was the only man he was looking at the whole time. 3rd down and 11. Another flag will fly. Don't know if they got the ball off snap before 25-second clock ran down. Instead, it's a legal procedure against Socastee, and things are getting worse for the Braves, and now it's going to be a 3rd down and 16.
You can attribute all of that to Jeff Coleman, the 6'4", 223-pound senior who has got probably every college in the country looking at this young man. When he comes in there on that blitz and starts breathing down the center's neck, D'Angelo Gauze is looking him right in the face, and either D'Angelo or one of the backs made a move right before the snap.
Well, it's scary from up here, and we're high atop the reservation. I can only imagine what it's like to be 3 feet away having that guy stare you down. But Gauze has held his own. 3rd down and a lot. 16. They need to get it past the 35 for a 1st down. Tusi goes split to the bottom of the screen.
Here comes Myers on the blitz.
Jackson goes in motion. Gauze's pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Here's number 76, Sean Tate, a 6', 233-pound junior defensive tackle. Got his mitts up in the air that time and batted it down. Might have been Marcus Bradley from the defensive end. Yes, it was. No, it was Sean Tate, 76.
Well, you know you're in trouble when defensive tackles are getting their big mitts up there and knocking them down.
6-foot defensive tackles, too.
Felkel back to punt from his own 10-yard line. Pressure is on, and he barely gets it away again. Taken by Bonner at the 50. Bonner strung out and brought down at midfield, right in the middle of the Pride and Tradition sign here at Gaffney. And boy, when you talk about Pride and Tradition, Gaffney certainly has it. They lead it 21-3.
Very good coverage that time by the Socastee Braves on that punt. They could have gotten a lot worse. Bonner was set up to come behind the wall, but the hard-charging Braves got down and took him down.
Socastee hasn't stopped Gaffney yet. 3 series, 3 touchdowns for the Indians.
You see him go back from the one-back set, and they move Foster out to the slot.
Palmer running through tackles, picking up 7 yards on 1st down. They're getting big plays out of simple fullback dives.
Just a smart little fullback play up the middle, using the misdirection, spreading the field. They're doing the same thing that Socastee wants to do. They're spreading their receivers out, spreading the Socastee defense out, and that makes Palmer that much more effective with the middle. Very, very strong runner.
Well, anyone who questions whether Gaffney should be #1 in the state, I think you've got your answer on why they are out there right now. In control both offensively and defensively. Of course, they don't have to worry about bus lag either, making that 4.5-hour trek to the upstate. But we're glad to be here. McGill, a lot of room to operate. Pitches it back to Foster, and Foster is met and brought down at the 37-yard line. Reggie Brooks comes up from his safety position to make the stop, but not until after he gets the 1st down.
Well, we're really seeing the Socastee. You'll see the defensive end right there, 24, McElfresh, really crack down when he sees the fullback play go inside. That's due to the success Charles Palmer has had from the fullback position. Socastee has to respect that, but you also have to realize if McGill and Foster get outside of you, they're gone.
And the linebackers and safeties have to pay so much attention to McGill, the quarterback. that it puts them in a reaction instead of a cause. You know, they're moving to what to what McGill does instead of forcing McGill to do what he needs to do, and that's just a credit to the Gaffney quarterback.
McGill's also doing a real good job of hiding the ball. We're sitting up here right over top of their offense right now, and when he comes away from center and goes into the fullback stomach, you really have a hard time of believing if that you buy the fake from up here. I know the guys down there have to buy it.
And this may sound a little bit nitpicky, but when you're running the option, it's a big benefit to have the dark jersey on because you can hide the football better. You really can. You know that.
That's why they wear them dark at home, Bob.
2nd down and 5. McGill content to keep it on the ground. Now we'll go to the air.
Bonner on the flag again.
Post over the middle, and Reggie Brooks knocks it down. Good defensive play from Brooks, who had the coverage on Littlejohn.
A little bit of contact that time, but Reggie made a good break on the ball and got his hand in front of him right before the ball got there. Good play. Bonner looked like he was wide open on the flag route that time to the top of the screen, but McGill decides to go across the middle.
Can't give him that much time.
Looks like we got a holding call also. You saw the replay right there. Good play by Reggie Brooks.
Maybe that's why he had so much time. Got to put some pressure on the quarterback, so now Socastee determining whether or not they want to take the penalty. It looks like they will. It is a holding call against Gaffney, so it'll be 2nd down, and they'll move them back 10 yards. It'll be a 2nd down and 15.
He threw that flag right in the direction of the nose guard from Socastee, Kenny Williams. Bob, get this, 5'5", 140-pound sophomore, number 26 in there, playing his heart out for the Socastee Braves. He obviously got in somebody's crawl on the offensive line that time.
Socastee's got a pretty young team. Now, we've been talking about Sinclair all night. He, too, is only a junior, so there will be a lot of people coming back. And for those people in the Socastee area who think it's just a basketball school, you're missing something if you don't check out the football team in the very near future.
Very young team, predominantly a junior-based squad. Next year, they feel like this will be their year.
Screen trying to be set up. Lewis putting pressure on the quarterback, who gets it away. Foster to the 34-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. And from our vantage point up here, it looks like half the Gaffney line was downfield past the line of scrimmage when the pass was thrown, but still, it's going to be complete.
Beautiful move that time by Ron Lewis to flush McGill out.
3 guys downfield before that pass was thrown for Gaffney.
Set the play up beautifully, but McGill's athletic ability caused that play to happen.
Easy to read from up here, but it helps if you've got guys 5 yards downfield blocking on a pass play. Gaffney now with some confusion, or it's going to be the official timeout. Little equipment problem for Foster, I do believe. 5:45 to go in the first half. 21-3, Gaffney leads. Thanks for being with us here in our TV-15 Game of the Week. I'm Bob Mahalik along with Lane Harris. Steve Trent will be roaming the sidelines throughout the ball game. A big emotional game last week. Hartsville taking on Dillon. We were there for our TV-15 Game of the Week. That was a good rivalry. Socastee coming off an emotional game as well. They played Conway, played well, beat their Horry County rivals. Now they have to pick it up again to go against #1 team in the state.
The Socastee Braves have been on a bit of a roller coaster ride this year. They won their first 4 games, got into the top 10, but proceeded to lose their next 4, 3 of them against top 10 teams. They've won their last 3, and they feel like the momentum's on their side. James Brown has brought the team and the community together behind the Socastee Braves.
On a 3rd down and 7, McGill had a man wide open and overthrew Bonner. So it's now the first 4th down situation of the night for Gaffney. A 4th down and 7, and they'll probably go for it the way successful they've been as Sinclair goes limping on the field.
Well, this guy sees a lot of action. He plays free safety on defense, and he's one of the hardest runners in the state, and he gets popped on every down when he runs the ball. So you got to know it. At the end of the night, number 42 is soaking him down and cooling them off, because it's tough out there going both ways, especially against a team as talented as Gaffney. All right, Socastee, let's see what you got here.
Watch out for Bonner, 21 on 4th down and 7. He was wide open last time thanks to single coverage. They'll roll to the right and look for Bonner. He is there again, and it's complete at the 21-yard line, juking and moving, and now with a chance to score. Bonner still on his feet, down to the 11.
Bonner has really burst on the scene this year for the Gaffney Indians. 8 touchdown catches, and you'll see the corner really gives him a little bit too much pad, about a 9-yard pad there, and all Bonner does is run a straight out. McGill delivers the ball in contact. Randy Sinclair had come up from his free safety position, but number 22 for Socastee is Shannon Powell. Just get outsmarted that time by Bonner. He makes a good run for good yardage, and Gaffney's right back at it again.
So it was the first time the Socastee defense had held throughout the game, and when they do, hey, Gaffney says on 4th and 7, we've been moving the ball, let's go for it, and they complete a pass and get it down inside the 15 again.
Coach James Brown and Coach Kirk, the defensive coordinator, really have to be concerned because Gaffney is really having their way on offense.
And wearing down that Socastee defense, Palmer, fullback off the right side, picks up a pair.
Good stick that time by Maurice Mazik. Maurice Mazik goes both ways, 6'3", 225-pound senior, plays linebacker, and that time he got the pads in the head on Charles Palmer and brought him down quickly.
You can see, as you look at the clock, all the state championships in the 60s where they were a very dominant team. The dominance is back in Gaffney. 92 champs and now looking to become 93 champs. They are the odds-on favorite in this Big 16 region, or in this Big 16 bracket.
You have to look forward to a possible rematch with Rock Hill Northwestern.
Who they've already beaten?
Yeah, they beaten 13-12 about 3 weeks ago. Hartsville, Dillon. These will be great matchups, especially the good defenses as we've seen from Hartsville and Dillon against an offensive power that's as strong as Gaffney.
Second down, they can still get a first down without scoring. Option McGill, back to Foster, a lot of momentum going, head forward, but look at that play by Sinclair. Sinclair comes up from the safety position, terrific tackle, and keeps him from getting into the end zone.
Randy came out real strong from the free safety position, inside out, used his position, and didn't let Foster cut back on him and got his head on the front of him.
You know, if Sinclair doesn't play Division I football as a running back, he can do it as a free safety. I mean, a lot of the emphasis will be placed on the running because that's the glory position. But man, he hits and plays defense as well as anyone in the state.
And he's not a really big kid. He's isn't blessed with huge size, but he is strong and don't want to play the game. He's only 5'10", 180 pounds, but he'll play for somebody.
Touchdown Gaffney. Big hole off the right side. Foster strolls right through it. Another touchdown for Gaffney, and they lead it 27-3. Huge hole on the right side, Wayne.
The Killer Bees and Mark Lester are really opening holes, and what can you say? Gaffney's just dominating the line of scrimmage.
Man, if it was two-hand tag, it still would have been a touchdown. TJ White, very busy man, in for another extra point. So Gaffney's touched the football on offense 4 times, scored touchdowns on all 4. Extra point, splits the uprights, flies into the net. 28-3. Gaffney with the lead with 4:21 to go. We'll be right back right after this.
I love the way you smile and go that extra mile.
You'll love these great specials at Piggly Wiggly. Check out this low price on Pig's Pride USDA Choice Boneless Intercut Chuck Roast, just $1.39 a pound. Or get Pig's Pride whole or half boneless New York strip, only $2.99 a pound. A great price on steaks. Plus, Piggly Wiggly's having your famous half price sale. Choose from all these.
And when you see this face, you're in the right place, feeling right at home.
How do I feed my hungry family? With new home-style hamburger helper.
I'm gonna make a real good, feel-good meal. It's gonna have some good old family appeal.
You'll love new Salisbury with home-cooked pasta in a rich, hearty sauce.
Hamburger helper makes a real good, feel-good meal.
New home-style hamburger helper.
Makes a real good, feel-good meal.
Yeah.
As advertised, Gaffney, 17th ranked in the country by USA Today. And if anyone across the country needs proof, we'll send them this game film to show them how good they are. They lead 28-3.
James Brown said, if you want to draw up a perfect high school football team, all you need to do is travel up the road to Gaffney. They've got size, they've got speed, they've got talent, and they hit, and they hurt.
Shannon Powell tried to go over top. Instead, he got slammed down into this turf. But he's going to be okay. Take a look at this on instant replay. He was a good 6 feet off the ground.
As a running back, especially a small running back, don't leave your feet unless you're diving into the end zone. 25 that time. That's J.J. Surratt, another special teams wonder for the Indians.
So Socastee was able to move the football on one drive, but other than that, it's been 3 plays and out. Reggie Brooks has been their main man on offense. The receiver split way down to the bottom of the screen. Goss pitches it to Randy Sinclair. Sinclair trying to turn the corner, but simply can't do it. Picks up a couple of yards. That pursuit by the Gaffney defense, just too much.
Coleman and Byers both come from the inside linebacker position and spread that play out. Again, this is where what Coach James Brown is trying to create some mismatches. And you see Jeff Forster, the free safety that time with the athletic play. He's just trying to spread the field out. A little face mask there that wasn't seen by the officials that time. But they've had a little bit of success passing the ball. They want to see Sinclair break loose now and loosen up this defense.
You know, Socastee's having some problems getting the plays into the game. They've been rushed to the line of scrimmage almost every time. I formation. They get the play off. Gauze. A lot of time, lobs it up. down the middle, jump ball, and it falls incomplete. It should have been intercepted, in and out of the hands of the free safety for Gaffney. That ball was a floater indeed.
Shane Jackson and Reggie Brooks both that time looked like they ran almost the same route. They both went for the same seam. The receivers for Socastee have to pick different seams so that D'Angelo can make a read on the free safety to determine which one he wants to throw to. The guys are right beside each other.
And that one should have been intercepted. Right into the hands, but Socastee needs a break and they get one. So it's going to be a 3rd down and a long 7. Again from the I formation, Tootsie split to the right as a tight end. He stays in the block. Gauze under pressure. Now he's in nowhere's land, lobs it up, and that's just going to fall incomplete. So the initial receiver was not there. Pretty good play by Gauze just to unload the football.
Jeff Foster came up that time and forced Gauze to bend off of his rollout, and he had nowhere to throw the ball.
I tell you, with 2:59 left in the first half, I'm sure James Brown was thinking, guys, can we just control the football a little bit to keep that Gaffney offense off the field? We don't want to see him score one more time before the break.
Just give me 3 yards a down. It was another thing he said this week in practice. Give me 3 yards a down. We can control the ball and keep their offense off the field. They haven't been able to do that tonight.
Gaffney's been putting a lot of pressure on the punter Falco in his last 2 attempts. Pressure's on again, and he gets it away. Good kick. High kick comes down at the 38-yard line. Tootsie is there defensively with the special team stop, and Gaffney will take over again at the 43-yard line. It's been very popular between that 40 and 45 to start drives.
Cornelius Bonner, we saw that time returning the punts. He's a really good-looking athlete. He just seems to catch the ball, both running his pass routes and catching punts with so much confidence.
Let's check in with Steve Trent. He's down along the sidelines. He's been finding out what's going on with Gaffney. Steve.
Bob, I certainly have been, and part of the reason you're seeing so much speed tonight, unlike our other 15 games of the week, most of the field has been green and soft and wet. This field is cold, hard, frozen, and dry, and these guys are able to take off, as you see right now.
Home field advantage. Well, they even like the turf here. Is another big run off the left side. Good job by the offensive line. Boy, these backs really know how to explode Foster here.
They fake the pitch out to the left or to the right, come back hard to the left, with Foster getting a double trap block that time by the offside tackle and guard. Socastee has to tackle good. They're not doing the fundamentals right now on defense, and that's hurting them. The guys have to keep their head in the game, stop the penetration, and make good tackles.
2:25 to go, clock stopped here in the second quarter. Gaffney's touched the ball 4 times, scored on all 4. This, their 5th possession. McGill, a lot of room again. He could be gone with the pitch. There it is. And Sinclair is the last man there again to make the stop on Foster. That is the 4th touchdown-saving tackle by Sinclair. I mean, he had all kinds of room out there on the right side.
Socastee Braves just do not have the numbers when it comes to stopping the triple option. When he comes around the quarterback comes around the end, there's just nobody support there. There's no linebacker support. There's no corner support for Socastee, and McGill's just running down the field.
Yeah, the linebackers, Wildermuth, Mazik, Lewis, really haven't made much of a contribution tonight. And usually they're the heart and soul of the defense. They need to get a little more aggressive. I know it's tough, but they've got to try and step it up a notch. McGill to the end zone, in and out of the hands. Littlejohn thought he had the touchdown, but it did come out of his hands and hit the turf and then come back up.
The official was right there on top of the play.
Again, a lot of time for McGill.
This man looks really good going back in the pocket. He puts a lot of zing on the ball, a good tight spiral there. Littlejohn grabs it, but no. Good call by the official.
And he had Powell beat by 2 or 3 steps. Well, this Gaffney team, look, that's unusual how they line up. Everyone lines up in a line while they wait for the play call. And they don't go into a huddle. He just walks down the line, gives them the play, and then they break to the line of scrimmage.
That way all the players can also see their position coaches. The offensive line can get their signals, and they also see the communication between McGill and the coaching staff.
Gaffney driving again. McGill likes the airwaves, goes to him again. Littlejohn, corner of the end zone, in and out of his hands again. He beat Powell once again, and for the 2nd time, he drops it in the end zone.
Alvin Littlejohn, 8 catches on the air for 148 yards. He averages 20 yards a catch. He's got 2 TDs. This could have been number 3.
Hey, can McGill throw that thing or what?
He's putting it right on the mark.
And every pass is a tight spiral, and he's hit the receivers on line. I think he's incompleted 3 passes. 1 he threw away, 2 were dropped.
Socrates got him in a 3rd and 10 now.
Still 2-down situation for Gaffney. They went for it on 3rd and 7 from the 30-yard line. I'm sure it's a 2-down situation for him here, and the way they've been able to control the ball, why not? They're having fun out there on offense.
We haven't seen much from number 80, Ike Curry, the tight end.
Draw play. Foster, nowhere to go. Socastee reads it well, so it's going to be a 4th down and 10. Felkel was there defensively, 54.
Billy Jones also was defensive tackle position, and Shane Jackson coming in to play some linebacker and strong safety. Made the stop that time for Socastee. Gaffney's going to
90
take a
seconds
timeout.
left. Gaffney decides to call a timeout. So here's the situation. Gaffney has scored every time they've touched the football. They lead it 28-3. Minute 30 to go, 4th down and 10, and still, I think Gaffney has the advantage. That's how strong they've looked offensively.
Coach Montgomery, Joe Montgomery wants to keep these guys focused. There you see Coach defensive coordinator Jerry Kirk, athletic director at Socastee also, in there trying to get his defensive squad to do something right. There's Joe Montgomery, the Gaffney head coach. He just wants these guys to focus on what they've got to do. Although this game seems to be getting out of hand, they've got a job ahead of them. He wants them to score and be successful all half.
And you mentioned Jerry Kirk, the athletic director. Nobody wants to see the football program grow more than he does. And even if Socastee's not able to get a win tonight, this is an important first step in that rebuilding. We mentioned there's a lot of young guys playing for Socastee. This is a terrific experience that should carry over to next year.
As a junior, playing against a team like Gaffney, who's obviously the cream of the crop in the state, you really strive to be able to compete on the field with them. And these juniors, all these juniors that'll be back next year and be a part of a very strong Socastee team, have to build on what they accomplished here tonight.
4th down and 10. McGill and Gaffney going for it.
Curry's open.
McGill's going to run for it. He needs to get to the 10. 1st down, Gaffney. They'll mark him out at the 5-yard line. There was nothing that Socastee can do to stop this team. They had the receivers covered deep downfield, so McGill says, all right, I'll just take it up the middle, pick up 15.
Coach Kirk came in and implored his secondary to do their job. They did their job, but McGill's just too elusive, too quick, as you see him sprint to the outside to pick up the 1st down yardage.
And gets out of bounds and stops the clock with 1:20 to go. The Gaffney machine continues to roll. I formation. Foster dots that I. McGill keeps it, gets near the end zone, and they're going to mark him down at the half-yard line. Randy Sinclair there once again for Socastee to make the stop.
It was very impressive to see this Gaffney Indian offense move down the field. They just seemed every time McGill comes around the corner on the option, he's at an advantage.
See if McGill keeps it himself on 2nd and inches. Gives it to Palmer, right side, another touchdown for Gaffney. The onslaught continues, it's 34-3.
Straight ahead, smash mouth football. When you got a football fullback that goes 220 pounds, stick it in his belly and let him fall forward. He'll get in there 9 out of 10 times. Socastee's defensive front really has to get some penetration and cause some confusion in their backfield.
White on for another point after touchdown. So as we mentioned, Socastee got that ball with 3 minutes left, didn't run out the clock. Now they'll try a fancy quick play here, but the flag falls as I don't think they had enough men situated on the line of scrimmage. Is going to be an illegal procedure call against Gaffney. And you got to wonder, leading this football game 34-3, why show that play to someone who they're going to play next round in the playoffs?
They better hope they don't play somebody from the PD area because they've seen it tonight. A lot of teams do that formation, and defensive coordinators across the state really on an extra point. You got to get your guys not to go to sleep because that's the easiest thing to do is get frustrated after you give up a touchdown. But you have to have your defense have to be on the toes.
What I was trying to say before that trick play was that Socastee really needed to run out the clock when they had the ball with 3 minutes left on offense. Weren't able to do it. They gave Gaffney another chance, and Gaffney took advantage of it. White's point after touchdown. It is good. 35-3. The #1 team in the state looks every bit #1 and then some.
The 8,000 partisans here in Gaffney are getting the party started in the first half.
Let's talk a little bit about the quarterback for Gaffney, McGill. We have seen a lot of quarterbacks, including Jacob Shoemate. He is better than Shoemate, and I think Shoemate is a terrific quarterback. But just from watching him in this first half, the quickness, the arm strength. I mean, McGill is a complete player.
The added dimension, especially the quickness, is something that Shoemate doesn't have. And we've seen McGill really utilize that tonight, either in running the option, scrambling, or picking up the first down.
And that is by no means a put down to Jacob Shoemate to be #2 in the state behind this guy.
Both of them will play major college ball somewhere. Tyron McGill, 50% passing on the year, to over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's even caught a touchdown pass. He can do it all.
Josh Permenter, one of the upbacks, takes it up to the 35-yard line. 45 seconds ago for Socastee. You would think they just fall on a football to create a halftime deficit of 35-3.
You really don't want to take any chances, but you still got to realize there's another half to go. Got to try to get some type of success.
And offensively, they looked very good on that one drive where they marched it about 60 yards and got it down inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line.
Maybe they need to go with just a 2-minute offense. Spread the field, throw the quick routes. Gaffney has not stopped that yet.
Gaffney spreads things out a little bit, trying to take away the big play. Gauze lobs it up. He's got a man, Sinclair, who's wide open. And Sinclair inbounds inside the 30-yard line. Boy, if he could have stayed inbounds, it would have been a quick 6. We've seen them run that play all year, but Gaffney hasn't. Sinclair out of the backfield.
They moved him over to the slot position at the top of the screen on the left-hand side. His athletic ability, he just outran his defender, was wide open that time, and I think he took out a tube over there, too.
So much for falling on the football. 15 seconds left. Socastee has a chance to get the ball into the end zone here. They do have one timeout left. Gauze comes to the line of scrimmage from the I formation. Brooks 44 split to the bottom of the screen. Gauze looking for Brooks. Under pressure, goes down. Needs to call a timeout as he's sacked at the 27-yard line. 7 seconds on the clock, and there is the TO. So Socastee now will have one chance to whip it into the end zone.
Socastee had a nice little pick play with Shane Jackson and Brooks, but he never had a chance to develop as D'Angelo had pressure from the middle. 78, the big guy up front, is Alan Davidson, a 5'10", 245-pound senior.
So we talked at the top of the show about Gaffney having one minor weakness, that was pass defense. Who knows, if Socastee can come out in the second half and get a couple of big plays, they could get back into this football game through the air.
With a little luck, they've got 2 shots here. They need to spread the field out. Last time, Brooks was the outside receiver, ran a pick in for Jackson. I'd like to see Reggie Brooks, 6'2", 180 pounds, very good athlete. I'd like to see him run for the flag and D'Angelo toss it up for him.
You know what I'd like to see? Think back to the TV-15 Game of the Week, Sherrod at Myrtle Beach. Sherrod runs that down and out, catches the ball and flips it back to Randy Sinclair possibly, who takes it down the sidelines. I'm sure they don't have that in the playbook, but hey, nothing else has worked.
They're close enough to get in the end zone. On the 25-yard line, a good pass here puts them in the end zone.
They flood it to the left. Watch for Sinclair on the right. That's where he'll split out. 7 seconds left in the first half. Socastee with one chance to get in the end zone. Pressure on Gauze. Lobs it up for Sinclair and knocked away at the last second. Sinclair was inches away from hauling that one in, but that is the end of the first half. An exciting finish in the first half. That was dominated by Gaffney. Look how close Socastee was to getting on the board before the end of the half.
Dominique Stevenson, the 6'1" freshman, barely gets a paw on it. Misplayed the ball, barely gets a paw on it. That was 6, and Sinclair knows it.
35-3. That is the end of the first half. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, The Louvre, Paris. Priceless. The Blue Boy by Thomas Gainsborough, The Huntington Collection. Priceless. Pinky by Thomas Lawrence, the National Gallery of Art in Washington. Priceless. Portrait of My Mother by Whistler, Luxembourg, Paris. Priceless. Red Sarouk by Karastan, a priceless addition to your home. Available at Florence Carpet and Tile.
Introducing me, Bingos! The wholesome new cereal made to eat with your fingers. How wholesome am I? Read my hips. I'm low in fat and so nutritious. So bye-bye bowl, so long spoon. Now, all you need to enjoy cereal anytime you want are these. Good.
Hey, am I good or what?
New Fingos, the wholesome cereal made to eat with your fingers in cinnamon and honey toasted up.
All is quiet for now at the reservation. That will change soon. We're about to begin the second half. What a very impressive first half it was. Gaffney over Socastee, 35-3. The hometown crowd has had a lot to cheer about because every time Gaffney has touched the ball on offense, they scored.
Socastee defense has not been able to do anything with the triple option threat of the Indians. McGill, Palmer, Foster have had their way. Bonner's caught a touchdown pass. Alvin Littlejohn's dropped too, so they were clicking on all cylinders, and you folks who have seen Gaffney in the lowest part of the stadium have not seen Gaffney. You can see why these guys stayed atop the 4A poll all year long.
The good news is Socastee will have the ball first to begin the second half, and the offense really hasn't looked that bad. They just haven't been on the field that much because Gaffney's been having these long, time-consuming drives.
Coach Brown at halftime you have to just go in there and say, you know, guys, we've had some success. We've accomplished some of the things we wanted to do. We've been able to spread them out by widening our splits in the offensive line and bringing Sinclair out of the backfield for a pass play. So we know we can do these things. What we've got to do now is we've got to go out and put together 24 minutes of football and keep this thing respectable and build for next season, which is going to be our year.
Sinclair from the 10. Runs into his own man and gets it out to the 25-yard line. Shane Jackson should have been upfield blocking. Instead, he ran into his own man.
I guess he and Randy had something to talk about before that play took place, but well, you really see the Gaffney special teams really fly downfield, and Socastee's kick return team really does not seem to be attacking the wedge there and knocking a hole open for the running backs.
Well, hopefully Socastee can keep Gaffney resting a little bit on their laurels here, up 35-3, and see if Socastee comes out and just throws the football at will. They were successful in doing it in the first half. They had the ball down at the 1-yard line in the first half, but settled for a field goal. That at the time it was 13-0. It is now 35-3. Sinclair strung out, goes nowhere. They even tried to pull the guard out there, but the guard couldn't even get up the field because of the pursuit to block anyone.
A lot of bodies that time by Gaffney, stringing the play out. Jeff Coleman was the main culprit, number 92. Dominic Stevenson came up from his cornerback position. Again, you see the Gaffney Indian defense, one of the top defenses in the nation, just strong up front personnel. Allison from the nose guard position, Davidson and Tate at the defensive tackles. Sullivan and Marcus Bradley are two very athletic defensive ends.
You look at the heart of the Socastee offense, it is Gause, the quarterback, Sinclair, the tailback, both juniors. Great news for the Braves. They'll be back next year. Gause wants to go to the air. Doesn't have Brooks there. Looks like he ran the wrong pattern. Now Gause throws up the Hail Mary, and it is almost intercepted and then knocked out of bounds. Brooks ran it down and in. Gause was looking for him down and out, so he had to look towards the other side of the field, and now a late flag comes in.
Very late.
Take a look and see what the call might be. You see right there, he wanted Brooks, but Brooks went the wrong way. Now a little improvisation and just throwing it away.
He really had no receiver to throw it to. He's well covered. I don't know what the call is on the play here.
Personal foul is the call.
Personal foul. It's going to go against the Socastee Braves. Maybe a hit after the ball was out of bounds.
I couldn't see it on that replay. I didn't see what happened.
Well, it happened down along the sidelines. There were a lot of Gaffney players in front of us blocking our view. Obviously, someone from Socastee did something after the ball had hit the ground.
The only player over there was Shane Jackson. The only player near that area. Shane, if you're going to start something, don't start it in front. Looks like he pushed. Yeah, he thought Jeff Foster, number 10, caught the ball.
I don't know if that's a personal foul or not, though. The ball was still up in the air. He's just shoving the man out of bounds. You're allowed to do that. It was kind of vicious from behind with two hands. But when the ball's free in the air like that, once it's been deflected, you're allowed to do whatever you like. I don't like that call.
I think a lot of officials, though, they try to keep control of the game and they make sure that the player's health is the first priority.
Gause under pressure, 2C. In and out of his hands and intercepted by Gaffney. And down to the 1-yard line. And now they're going to roll it a touchdown. So Gaffney doesn't need to be on offense to score. Tusi had the ball. He just didn't corral it in. It was stolen away.
Coleman and Byers both came on the play. Gause gets flushed out of the pocket and throws the ball up for grabs. Nice play that time by J.J. Surratt to take the ball away from Tucci. Picks up a couple blocks down the sidelines from number 3, Stevenson, and gets in for 6.
Well, gosh, just flipped that one up in the air on a 3rd down and long inside your own 20-yard line. That's a dangerous play. It was all set up by that penalty. White's point after touchdown. It is good, and Gaffney is rolling. 6 touchdowns in the football game. They lead at 42-3.
Well, their offense in the first half scored every time they touched the ball. Now the defense takes the field and said, hey, guys, it's time for us to get in the action. J.J. Surratt, 5'6", 160-pound senior free safety. That's his 2nd interception on the year. Takes it back about 25 yards for pay dirt.
Boy, that bus trip up here is long enough, 4.5 hours. It'll be even longer going back, but Socastee will hang out in the upstate for a while and try and enjoy themselves tomorrow afternoon.
Nice little trip up to Clemson. Coach Ken Hatfield and his staff is playing the host as Clemson and Virginia match up. About the time you're looking at this broadcast, they'll be in Death Valley enjoying a nice college football game.
And we'll just be getting home.
It's not that long of a trip.
You're right, it's not that long. Maybe I took the wrong turn coming up. 10:33 to go in quarter number 3. White to kick it off for Gaffney. Indians lead at 42-3. Brooks from the 11-yard line. Brooks to the 30 and no more. Steve Trent is down along the sidelines. Steven, well, let's check in with him in a couple of minutes. He's got the Socastee cheerleaders who are trying to make the run from the far side of the field over to the home side of the field. You got to give a lot of credit to those Socastee fans who did make this trip. Those are loyal fans.
James Brown has really gotten the community behind this football team this year. They've had a little mid-season adversity. The loss to Marlboro County, the 14-7 loss to Marlboro County being the low point. But Coach Brown has got the kids back together and got the community behind it. Loose ball.
Goss fumbled the football. And are they going to roll it down? No one's signaling touchdown. I think the whistle blew because they lost the football, but no one has signaled touchdown, so I don't think it could be a 6-point play.
Looks like they're going to call him down.
Well, Goss never got the snap from center.
The ball got kicked around in the interior line, and we couldn't see it up here. But they're saying Coleman was down when he picked it up.
Wow, it's getting worse for Socastee. They've turned the ball over now twice here in the second half. And now Gaffney in scoring position again, but then again, anytime these Gaffney offense is on the field, they're in scoring position.
As I was speaking right before that play, the Socastee team has been on a roller coaster. James Brown has rallied this community behind the Socastee Braves. They won their last 3 games against West Florence, Conway, and Wilson. Finished with a 7-4 record, the first winning season since 1976. Second trip to the playoffs, but they got to go up against a very strong Gaffney team.
On first down, Palmer picks up about 3. And you know, Socastee, we talked about them playing the top 10 teams. Well, when they played South Florence was in the top 10, lost by 1. Played Dillon very tough. I mean, Dillon is ranked 4th in the state in 4A. They lost, I think it was 25-22. They lost by 3 points one way or another. But Hartsville, the number 2 ranked team in the state, did blow them out, similar to what's happening this evening.
And the Braves defense, they had 5 offensive starters out of that game suspended, and that was part of the low point for Coach James Brown. But the Socastee Braves are 10 points away from being 10-1. It's as simple as that.
They had a chance to beat Dillon. They certainly had a chance to beat South Florence. McGill's pass on second down and 7 goes right through the hands of Cornelius Bonner.
Boy, he's put up some big numbers this year. 44 catches, 834 yards, 8 TDs, almost 19 yards a catch, and he returns punts too.
And he has a touchdown tonight, but then again, who doesn't for Gaffney?
They're starting to add up.
3rd down and 7. Littlejohn, number 1, and Bonner split out to the right. McGill rolling to the right, looking for Littlejohn in the corner of the end zone. Littlejohn is there, but can't make the over-the-shoulder catch. It was just a little too long. Brooks there defensively got there a little late.
Connor and Littlejohn both were running, looked like they got their routes confused. They were crossing each other, and the Socastee Braves were staying right with them all the time. A little overthrown this time by McGill, but Littlejohn and Bonner were both
Bonner
open.
was open. 21 Bonner was open. Now it's a 4th down and 7. Exact spot in the field where in the first half they went for it and got the first down on 4th and 7. Exact spot.
Let's see if they do the same play. A little rollout action by McGill. Bonner with the down and out for the first down. He's set up wide at the top of the screen.
And boy, when McGill rolls out, because of his athleticism and because the offensive line of Gaffney is so quick to get out there, he has all the time in the world. Gaffney needs to call a timeout on 4th down. Let's check in with Steve on the sidelines. Mr. Trent.
Mr. Mahalik, let me tell you, statisticians on the Gaffney side tell me they had a total of 290 yards on the offense during the first half, so they're moving the ball definitely. And here we have some very frustrated Braves over here coming over to the Indian side to give us a cheer, taking out some of that frustration. Take it away. Bob with the score, 42-3, as you can see behind me. They've got a lot of going and fighting to do to pull out a win here tonight. Bob.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. You notice, you know it's playoff time when the skirts go and the sweatpants come in. Smart move. It's getting chilly. 4th down and 7. Littlejohn and Bonner split to the top of the screen. They like to roll McGill out to the right and use that field. They do. McGill rolling. Lewis puts pressure on him. Now McGill throws it, and it's complete to the fullback, Palmer, down to the 11-yard line. Don't know whether or not he was past the line of scrimmage when he made that throw. There is a flag down. Looked like he had stopped right before the line of scrimmage, though. We'll have to check on the flag.
Probably looks like the call there. William Dees comes from his defensive end position and breaks down, is in good position to get McGill. McGill puts a move on the inside. The defensive secondary has to come up. 32 comes up there, leaves Palmer wide open for the big play.
I thought he stopped before the line of scrimmage and making the throw, so that probably shouldn't be the call, but it is going to be an illegal man downfield for Gaffney. We saw that earlier in the game when the game was still really somewhat in doubt. They should have made the call. They didn't. This time they make it, though.
Thanks a lot.
4th down and now 11, and they'll still go for it. And how about Palmer? The big kid, 42, bruising fullback. You forget about him when he runs a 10-yard pass pattern.
Both of those backs can come out of the backfield. That's where the defensive front of Socastee's got to be able to put a little pressure on McGill. Dees was in a good position to make the sack that time, but McGill just proved too elusive.
Here's McGill again, looking for Bonner. All the time in the world. Now the pocket closes down and he goes down.
There's a little man, Kenny Williams, 5'5", 140 pound from his nose guard position. Shows blinding speed that time. He was double teamed on the backside of the ball. He broke away and made the hit on McGill. You'll see him at the bottom of the screen right there. Excuse me, Patrick McElfresh, coming from the other defensive end position.
And he didn't quit. Look at all the time he had. McElfresh never quit, and boom, him and Dees make a bit of a McGill sandwich.
Sorry, Miss McElfresh, that was your son, Patrick.
42-3, Gaffney leads, 7:56 to go, and that was the first time the entire football game the Gaffney offense has not scored when they've had the football. Moral victory number 1.
A little confusion in the Gaffney secondary.
Sinclair goes nowhere, met in the backfield and brought down.
That's Ty Byers. That's the first time we've really called his number from his inside linebacker position. This gentleman's on the Christmas list for a lot of major colleges in the Southeast.
You know, the folks from Gaffney were telling us, even though there's probably about 4,000 people here, this is a weak crowd for them.
I tell you what, if this is 4,000 people.
Is it more? Do you think it's more than that?
Oh, yes. Much more.
We're on top of the reservation, by the way. So if we sound a little cold, there we are. Nope, other side, guys. There we go. How are you? Thanks for being with us for the TV-15 Game of the Week. Brooks had the pass for the first down and dropped it. Good throw by Goss. Brooks has had a good ball game. This one hit him between the 4 and the 4, but he couldn't hang on.
Again, we're seeing D'Angelo Gauze and the Socastee Braves able to have success throwing the ball against Gaffney. They need to continue doing that and try to build on that success. Gaffney's shutting the run down. If they can be successful with the pass, loosen up those linebackers, those 2 All-Americans, make them a little more pass conscious, the run becomes more effective, and that's where Sinclair can do some damage.
In case you're wondering about Brooks, he is a senior, so he won't be back. He and Tusi will both be gone, so Goss will have to find some new receivers to throw to next year. Shannon Powell will be back, though. Sinclair has the football, wants to throw, completes it, but he completes it to a Gaffney Indian interception.
That's Jeffrey Jeffries, number 13, coming in as a nickel back on a passing situation. Slightly underthrown. Made it look like a pitch sweep, but you can tell Sinclair's going to throw back across the field. Not a bad pass, just slightly underthrown. Brooks was almost in an area to catch the ball. Jeffries makes a good athletic catch.
There were 4 black jerseys deep, but yet Sinclair was under all kinds of pressure. That's how aggressive Gaffney is. It seems like there's 20 guys out there on the field.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. When it comes to them running the option, Socastee seems to be playing with 9 players, and on Gaffney's defense, they've got a lot of numbers out there.
Pitch back. Foster runs through Brooks and gets the first down. You know, in order for that play to work with Sinclair when he tries the option pass, you've got to be able to run the football effectively. Socastee hasn't been able to run against the Gaffney defense.
Randy's probably gained a total of 5 yards on the pitch sweeps all night, and it didn't fool Gaffney. And they, although it didn't fool them, Brooks was in a position to make the catch. He threw into the middle of coverage, but had Jeffries not been able to get that ball or even tipped it, Brooks was in an area where he can make the catch.
Oh, you got to try anything when you're down 42-3. And we've seen Sinclair throw the ball earlier in the year as well. They'll pitch it back. Foster still on his feet.
It's going to come back. Ike, number 80.
The hold against Gaffney.
Ike Curry tackled a Socastee player.
You just couldn't wait to say Ike all night. And he couldn't catch a pass, so he holds, and you get to say it.
Okay, I hate saying the offensive lineman's name, but he tackled Patrick McElfresh in the backfield that time after that play was set up. Boy, the Gaffney offensive line and wide receivers also do a very good job of blocking. And that's one of the reasons we're seeing the option have so much success is when McGill comes around that corner with the option. The wide receivers, the tight ends, the backside linemen are getting downfield and blocking the free safeties and linebackers, cutting off pursuit, as they've done all year.
Well, this game should help Gaffney possibly move up in the USA Today poll. They were ranked 17th coming in, but a first-round playoff game in which they're leading by 39 should help them out a little bit as far as national rankings go. McGill hit by Dees, but gets it to Foster. Face mask will be called as he picks up 5 yards. That's what the flag was for. Dees got a fistful of face mask, I do believe.
The Socastee defensive front is getting no penetration on the offensive line of Gaffney. Dees that time makes the right play, forces the pitch, but your cornerbacks, your linebackers have to pursue inside out, and your free safety and strong safeties have to come up and be able to make that play, make that hit, make that tackle before they get around that corner.
And remember, in high school football, there's no such thing as a 5-yard face mask, so that's a 15-yard penalty, and it moves the ball all the way to the 40-yard line. It's going to set up a 2nd down and 5. Got to wonder how long Gaffney will keep the starting lineup in there. McGill keeps, is hit, and picks up about 1 yard, but you can see right there, Socastee hit the quarterback, but I'm not even sure they knew he had the football.
It's one of the first times they'd gotten a little penetration from their defensive interior. There's a good look at Mr. Tyrone McGill right there, and a good look at the Socastee defense. These guys have really had their hands full tonight, have not been able to solve the Gaffney triple threat offense.
Not too many people have, so no reason to hang your head too low. Foster, first down for Gaffney, out to the 34-yard line. As Gaffney continues to move the chain and move the clock. 4:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Before it gets too late tonight, Bob, we want to talk about a young man who's probably sitting at home tonight watching this ball game. Suffered a car accident 8 nights ago on Thursday night, the night before the Conway game. We wish Jason Dishno the very best from his teammates, from everybody here at PDE 15. Hope he's recovering well from a very bad car accident.
Yeah, a lot of members of the team and a lot of the coaching staff coming up saying, please tell Jason if he's watching, we're thinking about him tonight. We wish he could be with us at the Clemson game. And a lot of people are glad to see that Jason hopefully is going to be okay. And Jason, if you're watching, hang in there. Glad you're watching the game, and a lot of people are thinking about you. And of course, Jason is a junior, so he could be back next year, and I'm sure he'll be ready to go.
I'll be pulling to see that one.
I hope he comes back. So Gaffney has the first down, and then more of a penalty against Socastee. Unsportsmanlike conduct, a little personal foul action, and that'll move it 15 more yards downfield as if Gaffney's offense needs any help.
You really don't want to help him out. The Socastee defense needs to, play it straight, play the game like it's supposed to be played. Don't do any extra hitting after the whistle. Maurice Mazix coming out of the ball game right now from his linebacker position. I don't know if he was the culprit for that personal foul, but you can't give away anything on this very potent Indian attack.
Shane Jackson comes in and linebacker for Socastee, number 40. He and Lewis are now the inside linebackers. Haven't heard much from Lewis this ball game.
In and a wide out now for the Indians is Chad Bissett, a junior wide receiver.
Keep it on the ground and go nowhere on first down. The heart of the Socastee defense is there. Billy Jones has played a pretty good ball game for the Braves.
He's come up big from his defensive tackle position a couple times tonight. Made some big plays. When they have had success shutting down the run, Billy has been there. He's a 6'3", 220-pound sophomore. He'll be back for a couple more years.
Mazik is back into the ball game. So after one play, he's back in. See Mazik, number 63, heart and soul of that Socastee defense, one of the few seniors on the roster. 2nd down and 8. Starting lineup still in there for Gaffney. McGill pitches it back to Foster's got a lot of room, but gets stuck by Randy Sinclair.
Hello.
Boy, Sinclair's done a terrific job of coming up from that safety position. He is so quick, and when he hits you, you feel it.
You won't see many guys rush for over 1,000 yards, score about 20 touchdowns, and come up and hit like that from the defensive secondary position. He's a Division I player. He'll play somewhere.
Randy Sinclair. Remember the name because he certainly will be one of the top players in the state and one of the top prospects, as you mentioned, in South Carolina next year. Sinclair, only a junior this year. McGill on the option, pitches it back. Foster fumbles. 4 white jerseys are there, and Socastee has the football.
Patrick McElfresh was there from his defensive end position. That time just a bad pitch or a bad catch that time by Foster. That's the first mistake we've seen Gaffney make. I've seen him play 3 games. It's the first mistake I've seen him make in 3 games.
That's something the Socastee needed earlier on in the football game. They needed to force a turnover, as you see a lot on the option.
Something like that happens on the first or second drive.
It's a completely different football game.
Exactly. You get a little momentum. Your defense gets a big stop. But unfortunately for the Socastee defense, they've had no success stopping the Gaffney offense tonight.
Well, D'Angelo Goss can put up some big numbers here by going to the air. Instead, gives it to Sinclair. And the key to the game, we talked about it at the top of the show. It simply wasn't to be for Sinclair today, but they needed to establish the run.
Trying to get mismatches in the interior line by spreading out the offense, where they've got a good blocking fullback in Dees who can come through there. And as we said, Sinclair is a good breakaway, a very elusive runner, so that if you can get a couple good blocks and he makes a move on somebody, he's in the secondary. And we've seen him make some big runs this year against Myrtle Beach. And he made three big runs in the Myrtle Beach game for long yardage, and he has a breakaway potential.
Well, Socastee has a little confusion. James Brown comes out to the lineup to the huddle after calling a timeout. It's 42-3 with 1:44 to go. We'll take a timeout and be right back.
National Hardware is renovating their Florence store and this year's Christmas shop. It opens Monday, November 15th, and they're moving everything, even the front door, to make room for the biggest Christmas shop Florence has ever seen. Silk trees, wreaths, and garland, bulbs, lights, and handmade imported ornaments. All of this being set up now. Prices will be low. Many people wait all year to see this wonderful selection of Christmas goods. And to tell the truth, the staff at National Hardware gets pretty excited too. Hurry to National Hardware, the Florence store, for the best Christmas shop ever. Here's a reminder we're proud to say the Christmas holidays are not far away. So make your list. Check it twice. Knowing Heilig Myers makes shopping nice. We've got all you need, and it's under one roof. We've got furniture, jewelry, and toys to boot. Our easy credit ends shopping misery. And for your convenience, free home delivery. Heilig Myers makes it simple. Heilig Myers makes it fun. Come to Heilig Myers Furniture, and your shopping will be done. Festive holiday savings. That's your cue. Shop Heilig Myers Furniture, the store nearest you.
Back at the reservation in Gaffney, South Carolina, the TV-15 game of the week, the Socastee Braves and Gaffney Indians. It's been all Gaffney. They lead at 42-3 with $1:44 to go in the third. 2nd and 7. Goss goes to the air. 2C complete. Out to the 31-yard line, and we have seen that play over and over again all year from Socastee. 2C from the tight end position just runs a quick little slant up the middle, almost just runs straight. Really doesn't cut that much upfield, and Goss hits him.
This game is getting to a situation where James Brown may need to just call that play until they stop it, and or keep loosening them up with the pass. D'Angelo Gauls has a very strong arm. He's got capable receivers in Brooks, Tucci, and the other wideout. So they can make things happen in the air.
1:14 to go. Goss to Sinclair, reverse. Reggie Brooks fumbles the football. No, Sinclair hangs on to it. Then his knee goes down at the 30. I thought the ball had popped loose. Terrific pursuit by Gaffney, who read it all the way and wouldn't allow the handoff.
I'm going to tell you what happened is Randy Sinclair kept that ball. He saw Jeff Coleman coming in from his linebacker position. Coleman was in a position to tackle Brooks had he handed the ball off to him. He faked the handoff, left Coleman on the ground, but unfortunately there was another Gaffney Indian there to make the tackle.
It really does seem like there's 20 black jerseys out there. They're everywhere.
This defense will hit you. They make good tackles. They do the fundamentals well.
Steve Trent is standing down on the sidelines. He's got some Gaffney cheerleaders this time, Steve.
I certainly do, Bob. Equal access for all, I guess. And here we have Melissa Ward. She's a senior here on the Gaffney squad, and I understand your defense has been the strongest point throughout the entire season.
Yes, we've had a lot of good returning players from last year, and our coaches are excellent. And, of course, our cheerleaders are number one!
They certainly are, and they got a lot of spirit. They're going to do a cheer for us right now. Go ahead, Gaffney cheerleaders.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Goss goes to the air. It's going to be very close to a first down. The big man, Adam, was there again. I'm going to let you say the last name this time so I don't get in trouble.
I'm telling you, this is a Southern boy.
Ziskowski.
And
Adam Ziskowski.
I just don't see those names every day. I'm sorry.
Ziskowski. We'll call
Smith.
him
Jones. that's my line.
Hey, Adam, nice catch. First down.
Thank you. Way to go, A.
6 seconds ago. That's going to be it for the third quarter. So Socastee will play for respectability in the fourth quarter. When we come back to Gaffney, Indians lead the Braves 42-3.
Foxes in Florence, Newsom Auto World presents the Monsters. Friday and Saturday, November 19th and 20th at Florence Civic Center. Hold on to your Cedars, Holman's Beast, Mongoose, Jersey Outlaw, and more. Challenge the legendary Bigfoot in the World Finals of Monster Truck Racing. Plus, see the world's fastest jet-powered 57 Chevy blast from the past and Fire Monster. Tickets available now at the Florence Civic Center box office and also select to see locations or charge by phone or delayed at the gate. The ground's already shaking.
From the WPDE newsroom, this is 15 News, live on the hour.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer King. For those of you hoping to stop smoking, a new study says quitting cold turkey may not be the way to go. Researchers at the University of California at San Diego say those who gradually limit their smoking have a better chance of kicking the habit. Tonight you can expect partly cloudy skies with lows in the mid-50s. More news in 1 hour.
Fans, I know they're Socastee Braves. They've got to be. Got to be Socastee Braves fans.
Yes, that's the visitor side over there.
Thanks for making the trip, and thanks for watching. Sinclair fumbles the pitch, picks it up, and gets nothing. Maybe a 1-yard loss on the play. Looked like they were trying to set up another potential reverse.
The Socastee offensive staff must have seen something they liked or disliked about that play, and it was either run it again and get it right this time, or let's try this angle.
Usually, Randy Sinclair dominates a fourth quarter. Even though he plays both ways, plays on special teams, he seems to wear down the defense. Tonight, though, it seems like Gaffney has wore down Sinclair.
Randy's had no big gains tonight, no breakaway runs. He's had very little success off tackle. He's been unable to get around the corners and the defensive ends of the Gaffney defense. So Sinclair's not had his textbook game.
Goss will go down. The Gaffney defensive pressure led by Kevin Sullivan.
You still see Coleman in there at the linebacker position. And Eddie Allison, the nose guard position. A lot of these guys here are second teamers.
Well, I imagine the second team for Gaffney could probably win a 3A title.
You look down on the sideline, they've got a 50-man squad down there, and that's a very good luxury that Coach Montgomery has. He's got a lot of people, a lot of bodies to play with, and a lot of talented people.
Well, as far as Big 16 schools go, Socastee, as far as kids who actually come out to play football, they've got one of the smallest rosters, if not the smallest roster.
Large enrollment, but small participation. Screen set up over the middle.
They set up the screen, and it's caught by the tackle. Who gets popped? That should be a personal foul. The flag had already been dropped, the whistle had blown, but still no call will be made. Jamie Helms has got to realize that he's out there to block, not catch passes, but Jamie saw the football coming and reacted to it.
Jamie was open.
But so was Brooks, who was standing right next to him.
That's Reggie's ball.
Look, he catches it, and he says, oops, I'm not supposed to, I never caught it. No, watch the late hit, watch the late hit.
Free shot by Coleman, ought to be in a flag, definitely.
If they're going to call a late hit on the Socastee player for that one play that was out of bounds, I think it was Brooks or Powell who got called for that.
I think that's what the officials are talking about right now. They didn't throw a flag when Coleman came in there. Let's see if they give him the personal foul.
Well, it's a loss of down for an illegal receiver, and they do not call the penalty for the late hit against Gaffney. So it's a loss of down as well.
That's what the personal foul late hit call is for, is when a player's in a relaxed position like that and you got somebody coming at him wide open, that's when somebody can get hurt, and that's the basis for that call. That's the theory behind using that call in that situation, and didn't use it.
Well, fourth down at about 107. Actually, we'll call it 37. But it seems like 107 when you're playing Gaffney.
Fourth down and punt right now.
They've got farther to go for the first down than we do to go home.
Ooh. That's a long way.
So a lot of the countryside I haven't seen for a while. Last time I think we were up here was when Jonesville was playing Lakeview in a 1A playoff game. Last time I made the trek towards this part of the upstate. The punt is away and brought back to the 37-yard line. Bonner is brought down by Shane Jackson.
Good play that time by Jackson. Again, Gaffney really does a good job of setting up the wall on their punt returns, and Bonner really loves to run behind it. Now we see coming in for quarterback for the Gaffney is number 12, Derek Davidson. Derek's a 5'9", 178-pound junior, and he has got some potential also. Very good throw, left-handed quarterback.
So now Gaffney takes out their starters. They'll sit them down for the rest of the fourth quarter. I think the Gaffney starters have done their job 42-3.
They've really had their way with the Socastee defense offensively. They've executed their game plan to perfection. The triple option, suffice it to say, has rolled up a lot of yards on the ground, and McGill's had his way throwing the ball. Bonner's made beautiful catches. They've been able to get the receivers open.
The quarterback, McGill, is a senior, so this new kid in, Derek Davidson, could be the quarterback of the future for the Gaffney Indians. I'm sure Gaffney will want to keep the ball on the ground, run out the clock, and just hope they don't get any injuries for next week's game, a potential matchup with Irma or Rock Hill. Of course, by now, you know who won.
That's right. We're going to see some backups in the backfield. Jeremy Surratt, number 5, is in at the tailback position, and number 2 fullback is number 41, Timmy Littlejohn. Timmy's a 5'10", 185-pound junior. He's got 61 yards this year.
Most of the Socastee starters are still in there, though coming in defensively, Terrell Mazik to play some safety. As Sinclair will take a seat. They want to throw the ball. The quick hit, incomplete. Tried to get out on the short side to Chad Vincent.
Terrell Mazik's a 5'10", 145-pound freshman in there for Socastee. I played a little free safety as a sophomore, and I was green as they come. I could never get in there as a freshman.
Well, he's got Stu Myers back there to help him out a little bit. And Stu, of course, has a lot of experience. Myers, a junior, he too will return. But you know, it's a tough way for the season to end and for the careers to end for someone like a 2C who's a senior, for Mazik, the linebacker, who's a senior. But they should be proud of helping to build the Socastee program because it's on the verge of becoming a power. It really is.
And that's what James Brown is doing right now. He's letting his seniors get a little playing time. Number 75 is Ronnie Johnson, is a 6', 240-pound senior, doesn't play much on defense. He's in there getting some time now. Again, what Coach Brown wants to do with this community is just build a little pride in the football program and get something in here that's really dedicated to the success of this team.
There is pride in Gaffney thanks to the quarterback, Mr. McGill. Steve Trent's got him on the sidelines.
I certainly do, Bob, and let's talk a little bit about the game out there. You're out of the game for right now. How's it going?
It's going well. Everybody decided we were going to stay together and get our team going and start back playing.
You had 290 yards offensive in the first half. You guys are moving the ball so fast. What's your secret?
Nothing. Everybody just played together, offensive line block, and the backs just did their part. Everybody just did their part.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob. Let's go back down to the other part of the field and see what's going on.
Now Davidson goes to the air for the 3rd straight time, and for the 3rd straight time, he has one dropped on him.
Chad, catch the ball. It was right on the line there. The Socastee defensive player.
So much for running out the clock, huh? He's going to the air.
These guys want to air it out, and this little quarterback, Derek Davidson, has a very strong arm.
Well, it took about 2 hours, but Gaffney will finally punt the football. The loneliest man for Gaffney's got to be the punter. He never gets in the ball game. And they don't have to punt it because that was 4th down. So he'll never punt.
There he is. He's going to punt right now.
No, he's not. Socastee's got the football on 1st down and 10 from the 35. Gaz back to Randy Sinclair, still in the ball game.
Look at
and
that.
Sinclair could go. He turns the corner and keeps it going. Randy Sinclair, the junior, has one man to beat. See ya.
That's the Randy Sinclair we've seen this year, and it happened again in the 4th quarter. Of course, this, I guess, the second-team Gaffney defense, but the Braves will take it anyway. The Braves fans on the other side of the field got something to cheer about finally.
Hey, if you're going to drive 4.5 hours, you might as well cheer one touchdown. Now, the second-team defense is in, but right here you can see the speed of Sinclair after getting the block from Dees.
You see him set up the move right there. He set the guy from the inside move and then twisted the hips out and just outruns number 35 to the end zone.
Well, he had no run longer than 5 yards. Now he has a 62-yarder. And Socastee looks like they'll go for the 2-point conversion in a 42-9 football game, trying to score some points, make it look a little better in the morning paper when you just check out the score if you don't see the entire game.
Don't look now, but the first-team Gaffney defense is in on the extra point.
Well, they don't want to give up anymore, and Gaffney has to call a timeout on the defensive side of the ball. Let's check in with Steve Trent. He's down on the sidelines finding a lot of fun on the Gaffney side. Everyone's happy down there.
Well, I'm happy definitely, Bob. We're finding out some of the secret behind Gaffney's speed here tonight. I've got Dr. Frank Phillips with me here, and he's part of a medical board that sort of helps oversee what schools are doing with their sports medicine programs here in the state. And you say that Gaffney is very well taken care of in terms of how their players get ready before the season.
That's right, Steve. We have a very strong off-season conditioning program, a full year-round weightlifting program, running, really keeps them in shape.
Now, as we have seen with our 15 Game of the Week, some schools have very well-organized programs like Gaffney in their sports medicine department, but other schools don't. What do you see across the state?
Well, we see the whole gamut from nothing to everything. Here in Gaffney, we are lucky enough to have 3 or 4 doctors who are really interested in sports medicine, and we have a clinic on Saturday mornings, and we have anywhere from 3 to 5 doctors in attendance at every game. I've seen the whole other end with no doctors.
And you say very few injuries on the team this year.
We've been lucky. We've been very lucky. Nothing major except for one broken arm.
Okay, some major wins. Thanks a lot, Dr. Frank Phillips. Bob.
All right, thanks a lot. Socastee now going for the two-point conversion. The #1 defense is in for Gaffney. Goss wants to throw. He's got Tucci. Complete for the two-point conversion. So the senior Tucci gets the two-point conversion to make it a 42-11 football game. Make that 42-12.
Get it right the first time, Bob. 42-11. Socastee Braves are looking to build on anything. You see D'Angelo Gauze roll out. Tucci coming from his tackle position. They stick another receiver on the outside of that play and kind of hide Tucci inside the line. They really like that play around the goal line.
Yeah, they ran that play down inside the goal line when they had it there in the first half. Remember, he completed the 5-yard pass to Tucci from the 10 to the 5-yard line. That, too, was kind of a tackle-eligible play, even though Tucci really is a tackle or a tight end. So Socastee gets on the board. It's obviously too little, too late, but it's 42-11 with 8:35 to go, and it's good to see Tucci, a senior, get that two-point conversion in his last football game as a Brave, because he's had an outstanding season.
Coach has called his number. That's just a nice way of the coaches saying, you know, thanks for all the hard work over the 4 years you've been at the Socastee program. And this program's come a long ways. This program has just been in battle with poor teams from the year and lack of fan support. And that's something that James Brown, who played on this team, played on the last winning team Socastee had back in 1977. He's trying to embroil that in this community and get this community behind this program, give these players an opportunity to be successul, and he thinks they'll respond.
Well, the onside kick was rolling around just waiting to be scooped up by a Brave, but it's been that kind of night. Gaffney recovers it at the 48-yard line. And slinging Derek Davidson is back in at quarterback. The backup attempted 3 passes on the first time. He led the Gaffney offense out here in the fourth quarter. See what he does here with 8:17 to go in the fourth.
Wide at the top of the screen, number 11, one of the JV players up.
Davidson wants to throw. The lefty over the middle and incomplete. And now a late flag comes in. It's going to be interference on Brooks.
Reggie just jumped the gun a little bit that time, his defensive cornerback position. It was just a little post pattern. The receiver curled inside, and Reggie got there just slightly before the ball did. Very little contact, but Reggie was out of position.
There's the replay. Gaffney obviously not running out the clock by running the football. They want Davidson to get some throws. Good tight spiral.
Boy, he's got a rocket. They're marking this penalty off the wrong way. And the Gaffney people are not going to let him forget about it.
I know it's getting late. I know it's getting a little bit cold. And I thought I was seeing things again, but you're right. They did mark it off the wrong way. The penalty is going to be wiped off.
I think we had offset penalties that time, Bob.
Had a hold against Gaffney and pass interference against Socastee. So it's going to be a 1st down and 10. Davidson wants to throw to the quarterback, McGill, who's in the ballgame, diving but can't make the play. Tyrone McGill, the quarterback, comes in at split end. And he was flying down the sideline.
He threw the ball 55 yards in the air, tight spiral. He's already caught 1 touchdown pass this year. I'm sure it was on a play similar to that. McGill must have some very good speed to be able to get down the sideline that quickly.
And I'm trying to think what ball game now, and I'm thinking Conway, that did the switcheroo with the quarterback.
Yeah, Michael Allen.
Michael Allen, who went to the wide receiver position, and it worked for Conway in the game against Hartsville when they almost knocked off Hartsville.
You can do that. Your quarterback comes over to the sideline or not. You got him replaced with the second teamer there. And he just lines up wide to the right of the field, acts like he's going off the field, and burns it down the sidelines. You got a kid with an arm like he has, he can get it out there to him.
And Gaffney's having fun. Davidson wants to throw again. This time it's complete and close to a 1st down. Matt Sossaman, just shy of the 1st. 7:38 to go in the football game. TV-15 Game of the Week continues next week. More playoff action yet to be determined.
Where are we going, Bob?
We'll have to check out the brackets and see where the best game brings us. Potential Hartsville, potential Lakeview, potential Johnsonville. All depends on what's going on as we speak. Of course, you're watching this on Saturday, and you know who won, but trust us, we'll be there Friday night.
I love it. A week of suspense. Where are we going?
Well, that just means you have to watch TV-15 throughout the week to find out what's going on with the game of the week.
I'll do it.
1st down for Gaffney as they move the sticks and move the clock. Socastee going to the bench a little bit now. Abraham Walensky, number 30, into the ball game for the Socastee Braves.
There you see a good look at Derek Davidson running the triple option, picking up 1st down yardage around the right-hand end.
From the I formation, Davidson actually keeps it on the ground. Gives it to the up back, the fullback.
Timmy Littlejohn.
Timmy Littlejohn.
Timmy Littlejohn, the ball carrier on the play.
I think it's safe to say that's Alvin's brother. Do you not? I mean, not many Littlejohns around here.
We'll double check on that. Most of the Socastee starters on defense are still in there.
Seems that Coach Montgomery is content now. The passing attack, he's shown his arsenal now. He's going to be content to run the triple option now.
But I'm not saying that. I said that before, and he's ended up throwing the ball 5 times since I said that, so I'll just keep quiet on this. The 2nd down and 5, Davidson option attack, and he's brought down at the 30-yard line. There defensively for Socastee was Raul Rodriguez, the junior, getting some playing time.
A lot of guys getting some good PT here.
Yeah, Rodriguez,
Josh
only a
Permenter.
junior, and there's a project right there. Rodriguez, 240 pounds. He'll be back next year. I'm sure they'll expect a lot out of him. Put him in the weight room, get him stronger.
That's right, beef him up. Beef him up, and again, every off season, when you're trying to turn a program around, becomes crucial. You want your guys to stay focused and stay together as a unit and become a team, become one. And that means working out together and training together and doing everything together.
Well, this is step 1 in the Socastee rebuilding phase, a winning record, something they haven't had for a long time. A playoff win can't be that far behind. It won't happen tonight, but you got to think in the future Socastee will get one. Surratt, the ball carrier, picks up the 1st down to the 20-yard line. Now some wholesale changes for Socastee.
Good look at Surratt right there. He's 5'10", 168-pound sophomore. Played a little JV ball this year, so he's been called up to action for the varsity, and he's responded well.
Smalls and some of the starters back into the lineup for Socastee to try and prevent a touchdown here. Also, Billy Jones, 77, back in.
Patrick McElfresh back in at the defensive end position.
5 minutes left in the football game. Number 1 Gaffney leads at 42-11. They led 35-3 at the half. Davidson, corner of the end zone, too tall. Good enough coverage from Socastee. Mazik was back there.
2nd down and 10.
That stops the clock with 4:54 to go. Got to ask you. Got to put you on the line.
All right.
Last week we watched Hartsville. We've seen Hartsville all season long. We're looking at Gaffney here. Gaffney's 1, Hartsville's 2. Should it be that way?
I'll tell you what, I've seen Hartsville 3 times this year. We've seen Hartsville good against Marlboro County. We've seen Hartsville bad against Conway. They barely won against Conway. I just have to say, after watching Gaffney and seeing how strong they are on both sides of the ball with very good skill players, you have to see why Gaffney's number 1.
A blown touchdown reception.
Sossaman
had it in his hands. I was just ready to say
Jackie Smith.
Dallas
Same
Cowboys in the Super Bowl, number 82,
Same
wide
position,
open.
right in the middle of the field.
And as the man said from Dallas, I know it's different from the Super Bowl. This is a blowout game, but he's got to be the sickest man on the face of the earth. Doesn't quite fit tonight, but a similar looking play. You can see the reservation getting a little empty now, which will make traffic a lot easier.
Boy, was he open.
Well, and Davidson got it to him. He was too open, I guess.
Gosh.
This team's fun to watch. Not so much fun if you're a Socastee fan, but if you're just a pure high school football fan, watching Gaffney play, look at the second team. Davidson hasn't thrown anything but a tight spot all game. There he is again for Sossaman, and again he can't come down with it. A little better defensive coverage that time turned in by Shane Jackson, but once again it was in the hands of 82, and he dropped the football.
Here we get a good look at Davidson going back, setting up in the pocket with the left hand. Really spins the ball out. Nice tight spiral. Good hand that time by Jackson. Still a catchable ball.
That's one heck of a backup quarterback. I guess that's why you're number 1 in the state when you have someone like that. And as we saw last week in the Dillon game, you need to have backups at quarterback.
You can't see it in that shot right there, but the Gaffney coaches, all five of the offensive coaches are up there. They're still employing the guys on, still calling plays, still coaching late in the game.
I like this Davidson kid. He's tough. The junior rolling out to the right, throwing left hand, and the ball's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Late flag comes in.
That was Tremaine Smalls, a 6'2", 210-pound sophomore that time from the middle position. Got up a paw and smacked it down.
Well, it was a 4th down play. It's going to be against Gaffney, so Socastee should just refuse the penalty, and Gaffney will turn the football over. It is a hold against Gaffney. It is refused, and it is Socastee football.
Late in the game, it's out of hand, something to build on. Socastee has been able to stop Gaffney twice in the second half.
And our special thanks, I know you spent a lot of time with the Socastee coaching staff, but special thanks to James Brown and Mr. Kirk, Coach Kirk, everyone at Socastee High School for rallying behind the TV-15 game of the week, and I'm sure in weeks present and future we will have a lot of Socastee Braves.
Dan D'Antoni, the head basketball coach, also Billy Hurston, Jeff Caraway, Kim McBoyley, all the guys. We appreciate the help you've given us, and I look forward to next year.
Sinclair broke off a big touchdown run. The last time he touched the football, this time he picks up about 4 or 5 yards. And you know, the TV-15 Game of the Week crew went extra mobile this week, traveling way up to the upstate. Special thanks to everyone involved in the staff. Art Starr, the director, does a terrific job, and all the men running camera. Robert Sinclair, no relation to Randy. Richard Perdue, Rodney and Brian, thanks guys. I feel like Dan Deerdorf thanking the crew. He does that every night on Monday Night Football. I always wanted to say thanks. And Dave Taylor does a terrific job with our graphics. But it all comes down to Art Starr driving that big old truck all over the place, doesn't it?
Art's the man. He is the man.
And the engineer, Fred Kovac. How can I forget Fred? They do a terrific job. We really have the fun and easy part here. The crew does a terrific job every week of setting up this Game of the Week, and I hope you followed us throughout the year and hope you continue to follow us through the playoffs. And of course, we'll be back next year. 1 year under our belts. We'll get bigger and better.
I'm going to the weight room this offseason too.
Got to work on it. We go to speech coaches, I guess. And the football players go to the weight room. 3:35 to go, clock running. 3rd down and 3 for the Socastee Braves. Trying to contain the football, retain the football, and keep that Gaffney offense on the sidelines, keep them from scoring. Really, the Gaffney offense has been shut down. It's been the defense that's come up with the big plays here in the second half.
He's got single coverage on all 4 receivers. What he's trying to do now, he's popped one up the middle, McElfresh.
Patrick McElfresh with the big run up the gut. That's something they were trying to establish early on in the football game, but the junior McElfresh is able to bust it up the middle and pick up 25 yards.
Of course, it's easy to do against the second team, but that was the game plan coming in. Stretch him out, move Sinclair out from the backfield out to a slot, draw single coverage on the receivers so that when you throw, you've got single coverage, and all you've got to do is beat one man, and getting mismatches and advantages on the line of scrimmage when you're trying to run block. But it just didn't take place in the first 3 quarters for the Socastee Braves.
Goss wants to throw. Toosey's wide open. Matthew Toosey, it's a race to the end zone. He won't get there, brought down at the 20. I'm telling you, him and Calvin Moses from Hartsville, 2 of the finer high school receivers you'll ever see coming out of the tight end position.
Very smart play. Goss looks the receivers away. The defensive end is supposed to drop off in coverage right there and did not do it. Tucci races downfield before being brought down by the Indian secondary.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like Toosey's PR agent, but I really like the kid. You get a chance to see him a couple of TV-15 games of the week. The game against the Wilson Tigers, the Thursday night game in Florence, there was one series where it was 3 straight passes to him for a touchdown. The kid's really a strong player. I really seldom see him drop the football. He's got those good hands, kind of reminds you of Steve Largent. Anything near him, he's going to catch. Not the most spectacular player in the world, but he has had a terrific career at Socastee, especially his senior year.
Coach Brown's offensive line, including Matt Tucci, Maurice Mazik, B.J. Felkel, Charlie Lanier, the center, Jason Dykelboer is a junior, guard coming back, Lanier's a sophomore, Felkel's a junior. All these guys are coming back. Jamie Helms and Mazik are the only 2 seniors on this offensive line. These guys, in the words of James Brown, these guys just like to play football, like to hit people and hurt people. And the offensive line of Socastee has done a great job all year long of blocking for Randy Sinclair when they've had success. After their down period, the game against Hartsville, a lot of these guys were suspended from the team for some disciplinary reasons, but they came back and finished the year strong. And tonight's, even though it's been a big loss to Gaffney, you have to put it in perspective. Gaffney's one of the best teams in the country right now.
And what you think of Coach Brown's new hairdo, huh? Had to shave the hair because his team won the last 3. That was a bet. He lost it. And he's got no hair. It's going to be cold tonight.
You got to like a guy who shaves his head and doesn't wear a hat.
Goss on the roll. Toosey towards the corner of the end zone. Makes the catch down at the 3. So Tootsie also close to getting a touchdown to wrap up his career, goes out of bounds at the 3-yard line. He does has a 2-point reception tonight.
Tootsie.
And it's goodbye after this game.
No, it's not. We're coming back next week.
Oh, it's goodbye for Tootsie.
Where are we going? Oh, he's a senior. That's right.
Tootsie, goodbye.
He's closing it out on a very good drive here.
Power I formation once they get inside the 5-yard line. Goss to Randy Sinclair. Sinclair, legs churning into the end zone for the touchdown for the Socastee Braves. Second touchdown of the half for Randy Sinclair. That's 18 for the year for the big kid from Socastee.
Looks like the Gaffney off the defensive line got a surge. That was one of the things James Brown said the Socastee Braves would have to do. The backs would have to make holes where there aren't any. Early in the game, they weren't able to do it, but Randy Sinclair on that drive did.
We talk a lot about Toosey. What about William Dees, the fullback, the man who makes a lot of key blocks that have sprung Sinclair most of the year? This is Dees' final game. He is a senior, and he too deserves some recognition because a lot of the yardage that Sinclair got Dees helped get. Dees out of the backfield. There he is, going for the two-point conversion, but does not get any. Stopped at the 1-yard line. So with a minute 49 to go, Socastee trying to make it more respectable, 42-17 now. But it's obviously, as I said earlier, too little, too late. First half of the football game was the key. Here you see Gaz on the roll, has Dees open, but got to get into the end zone here. And the pass is taken at the 2, but he can't get it in.
A little behind him. Dees was not in position to catch that ball and run, and the Gaffney Indians defense came up and put the hit on him. It's been a good night tonight. I've enjoyed it. It's good football. I mean, Gaffney has a strong team, and you have to respect that. I know Coach Brown and his staff, they knew coming into this game that Gaffney was strong. They knew they had some mismatches. They knew that Gaffney just had some superior athletes on their side of the ball, but they felt like they had a good game plan. They had gotten the guys that had a good positive mental attitude coming into this game and felt they could cause some damage by running the ball and being successful running the ball, but they've been successful throwing the ball all night.
It was 35-3 at half, 42-17 right now. And it was the very first play of the game that really spelled doom for Socastee. McGill on the option. The quarterback kept it and went 62 yards. Onside attempt is recovered by Gaffney. Brian Beadle. Make that Beatty.
That's another part of the Killer Bees offensive line for the Gaffney Indians.
And they do a terrific job. They've given McGill all the time he's needed, and Davidson.
Burgess, Ballou, Beatty, Byers. And don't forget Mr. Lester at the right guard position have done a great job of executing the option blocks, protecting the quarterback. Just a very sound offensive line for Gaffney.
They'll keep it on the ground. Give it to the fullback, Timmy Littlejohn, the junior. Picks up about 3 on first down. Littlejohn will be back, of course, next year. So when you look at the second unit for Gaffney, this is basically what Gaffney's going to have coming back next year, so the dynasty could continue.
Well, they're losing 4 of their players in the offensive line, their whole offensive backfield. But as we've seen tonight with their reserves in the backfield especially, they can play. Their offensive line will be a question mark. If their offensive line can perform like the Killer Bees have tonight and all year, then they should be right back in the driver's seat again.
Well, you got a chance to watch one of the top high school football teams in the country, and I hope you've enjoyed it. The Gaffney Indians running out the clock here, leading 42-17.
There's a big play by the senior Socastee, Ronnie Johnson, making a big play in his last game. Also in their 76 is Robert Tingman. He's a junior, 6'2", 210-pound junior. So a lot of the guys who don't play a lot during the year are coming in now for Socastee.
This should be the final play of the football game. Brad Harris, a sophomore, 57, checks in for Socastee Braves. He'll play a little linebacker on this final play of the game. 13 seconds. Davidson wants to throw on third down, under pressure. Intercepted by Mazik. Flag is down. Mazik is on his feet. He could go.
Yes, he could.
The freshman still on his feet. He's like the Energizer Rabbit. He keeps going and going, and finally brought down at the 27. That should be the end of the game, but there is a flag now. We'll have to double check on the flag before this game is officially over. What a way to end it, huh?
As a freshman especially, you got to love that. Making the pick off, the huge, very exciting run back in. You know, he was no way he was going to outrun Surratt to the corner, but a beautiful interception and a great way to end your freshman season, starting at playing at free safety and making a pick.
The penalty is on Gaffney. Illegal man downfield. Penalty is declined.
And that's the ball game.
And that is the football game. So the Gaffney Indians, proving they are more than worthy of their #1 ranking, they beat the Socastee Braves tonight 42-17. We'll be right back to the reservation to wrap it up right after this.